Well, the premier series of the Western Conference Semifinals has the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. They both closed out what has been the best opening round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs in recent memory. They staged multi-goal comebacks in their Game 7s, with Dallas trailing 2-0 in the third against the Colorado Avalanche before storming back to win 4-2 to complete the first ever third period Game 7 comeback that ended in regulation. And as such, they'll be facing the Winnipeg Jets, who complete a comeback of their own, as they were trailing by 2 goals in that Game 7. In the final 2 minutes, they tied it up with the latest game-tying goal in Game 7 NHL history. That coming with 3 seconds left from Cole Perfetti, which beat the record set by Matt Cook in 2004, Game 7, for his Vancouver Canucks against the Calgary Flames, who went on to win that Game 7. And to complete that comeback, it is Adam Lowry, to Dallas' hometown team, dual citizen of the United States and Canada, to win it for the team he captains, the Jets, to send them to the second round and complete the Manitoba Miracle. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. It's the first time the Jets and Stars meet in the postseason action, while Winnipeg took 3 of 4 meetings in this year's regular season series. They won both games at Canada Life Center 4-1. Connor Hellebuyck made 32 saves in the November 9th battle. The Jets scored twice on the man advantage. Kyle O'Connor scored twice, and Mark Scheifele had 3 assists in the March 14th game. Both teams split at Dallas. Jake Ottinger stopped 26 shots on December 1st. Mason Marchment scored the winner. Connor Hellebuyck stopped all 25 shots on the April 10th game for his league-best 8th shutout. And Connor scored twice. As this is all going around, the Florida Panthers and Toronto Maple Leafs are in a big battle in Game 2 of that Eastern Conference semifinal series. And it's 4-3 Leafs with 24 seconds left in the meantime. Both teams advanced to the second round, but they had their fair share of struggles. The Jets allowed the Blues to run up the score in multiple games and come back to force a Game 7. The Stars, meanwhile, took a Game 1 drubbing and at times looked overmatched against the likes of Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar. But both teams pulled magic out their hats, or something even bigger than a rabbit. Both teams also deal with significant injuries. Mark Scheifele's been out since the first period of Game 5, and Josh Morrissey played all of 2 minutes before leaving Game 7. Scheifele's a game-time decision, but he was in his usual spot at the top line working with the top power play unit during morning skate. There is no update on Josh Morrissey or Logan Stanley, though Jason Robertson is returning for this game. It's a big boost for a team that already has plenty of offensive production. Skating on the third line with Mason Marchment and Wyatt Johnston. As is the final score right now, Maple Leafs 4, Panthers 3. Toronto goes up 2-0 and protects home ice at T-Dot, looking for their first conference finals appearance in 23 years. Miro Heiskanen did not skate. He remains day-to-day. As we look at our starting lineups, we begin with the Dallas Stars, the lower seed in this series. Michael Granlund, Rope Hintz, Mikko Rantanen. Jamie Benn, Matt Duchene, Tyler Seguin. 2 former line mates in the past reunited with one another. Ben and Seguin, as they were previously on the top line with the Stars as the former faces of the franchise. Mason Marchment, Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson on the third line. Oscar Bach, Sam Steele, and Evgeny Dadonov on the fourth line. Defensive pairs start with Thomas Harley with Ilya Lyubushkin, Esa Lindell with Cody Ceci, Leon Bishop with Alex Petrovic, and the starting netminder, Jake Ottinger. Backup is Casey DeSmith. For the Jets, their lineup is like this. Kyle O'Connor, Mark Scheifele pending his status, Gabe Vilardi, Nikolai Ehlers, Vladislav Nemestikov, Cole Perfetti, Nino Niederreiter, Adam Lowry, Mason Appleton, and to round out, Brandon Tanev, Morgan Barron, Alex Iafallo, who can be slotted anywhere up and down the lineup as the Swiss Army knife on this Jets team. Defense pairs are Hayden Fleury with Dylan DeMello. Fleury is replacing the injured Morrissey on the top pairing. Dylan Sandberg with Neil Pionk. Colin Miller with Luke Shen. Miller replaces the injured Stanley. Connor Hellebuyck and net. Eric Comrie is the backup. Coaches are Peter DeBoer. Assistant coaches Steve Spott, Elaine Nasruddin, Misha Donskov, and Jeff Reese. For the Jets, their coaching staff goes like this. Scott Arniel, the head coach. Assistants are Marty Johnston, Davis Payne, Dean Shainoff, and Wade Flaherty. So you look at the what to watch here in this game. The Stars' offensive depth shown throughout the 2025 season. Matt Duchene drank the fountain of youth, hitting the 80-point mark for the first time in 3 years. And after a slow start, Robertson found his game after he was snubbed from the USA's Four Nations face-off roster. 9 players hit the 40-point mark, but that's if Mikko Rantanen is taken out of the equation. But he got ahead at the trade deadline. Combined stats when playing with the Avalanche, Hurricanes, and Stars, it's good for 15th in the league. Not bad for someone whose future wasn't settled 3/4 of the year. The most impressive part of their win over the Avs was that they did it without Heiskanen, who was out since January 8th after that knee-on-knee collision with Mark Stone. Thomas Harley and Esa Lindell showed up in his absence. Even Cody Ceci and Ilya Lyubushkin have played just well enough to stay in the fight. That said, Lindell was getting eaten alive with the extra ice time. On the ice for more than double the even strength shot attempts against at 199, then 497, resulting in a Corsi number of 32.7%. They'll have to put their bodies on the line to stop the Jets' extensive scoring depth from sending them home for the playoffs empty-handed. And Harley and Lindell will have to play a lot of minutes until Heiskanen arrives. Jake Ottinger, however, has one of the best high-danger save percentages left in the playoffs, and it's why the Stars advanced. But he'll have to be on top of his game if Dallas were to take on either Vegas or Edmonton in the Western Conference Final. The Oilers lead 1-0 in that Western Conference semifinal series. And the key here is for him to be at his best. And he has been at his best against Colorado in Game 7. Peter DeBoer 9-0 in Game 7s. But the Stars have lost their last 8 Game 1s. And it's a frustrating trend they want to buck. And through the regular season, the Jets' offense looked like they were built for a deep playoff run. 6 players hit the 50-point mark and 5 more finished at the 30-point range. Kyle Connor had a career-high 97 points, finished with his second 40-goal season of his career, while Mark Scheifele's 87 points finished second on the team. In the playoffs, Connor was the driving force of the offense with 12 points in 7 games, including 3 assists in Game 7. Adam Lowry and Cole Perfetti drove the play, both expected goals for percentages of over 65%. For Winnipeg, all but Hayden Fleury and Logan Stanley finished the regular season with an even-strength Corsi percentage of over 50%. Josh Morrissey posted another elite-level defensive season, finishing with 60 points and leading Jets defensemen with 49 takeaways. Dylan DeMello doesn't grab anyone's attention with his offense, but he knows how to separate man from puck and make a strong first pass. Neil Pionk has been one of the most prolific hitters in the game in the past 3 seasons, averaging 191 per year. He's continued his strong play in the playoffs, posting a 55% even strength Corsi so far. Corsi form so far. Connor Hellebuyck is the obvious X factor, and the backstory shouldn't be that deep. He's a dominant regular season goaltender, but he has to match that in the playoffs. In his last 3 postseasons, his save percentage is .861 and his GAA is .410. Despite this 7-game series victory, Hellebuyck has a .385 GAA and an .830 save percentage. He has to be much better than that. It's hard to come up with anything similar in hockey or other professional sports with the narrative around Hellebuyck. If he plays at the level we've seen during the regular season, the Jets could advance to the conference finals, facing either the Golden Knights or the Oilers. How can you not love this whiteout atmosphere? True North Square with the whiteout. True North Square and the whiteout standing strong. Of course, owned by True North Sports Entertainment, ran by CEO Mark Chipman, the team owner. He was excited after that Game 7 double overtime victory in the Manitoba Miracle. Our referees, Garrett Rank and Johnny Bear. Linesmen, Bevan Mills and Devin Berg. So this is the first playoff meeting between the two clubs, and just the first playoff game that they're going to be playing as such. And with the current playoff standings, the Capitals and Hurricanes battled it out last night. The Hurricanes took game 1, 2-1 in overtime. And it's Jacob Slavin officially. The puck did not touch Seth Jarvis' stick. Everyone loud here. A Stanley Cup replica over at the crowd at Winnipeg and Hellebuck with the second worst GAA and save percentage in the NHL this postseason. But he did lock in after allowing his third goal in Game 7. That to Radek Faksa, former Dallas Star. Ottinger waits 27 saves against Colorado in that Game 7. 285 GAA, 911 save percentage in a grueling 7-game series that was conference finals-like. We'll see what the narratives are like here. Throughout this series, the offensive depth of Dallas will not prove too much against Winnipeg and their stout defensive structure. The Jets are starting with the Ehlers line out there. Him, Namestnikov, and Perfetti. Scheifele is in the action. He is starting from the bench. On the opposite side is Ben, Duchesne, and Sagan on the forward lines for the Stars. And as we're underway here at Winnipeg, let's get rocking and rolling. Western Conference semifinals. Winner faces either Vegas or Edmonton. The Oilers lead that series 1-0 with their 5th consecutive come-from-behind victory in the playoffs, the most in NHL history. Duchesne drops it out for Sagan. Return feed to Duchesne. Couldn't get a hold of that. And that pass was cut off by the Jets as Ehlers will lift this one out all the way until the far side of the ice. Wendell's the first one back. Him and Ceci being the first defensive pair out there on the ice for Dallas. Chipped ahead by Sagan, but it's well ahead of him as Sandberg will reset. Him and Pionk to start things out. It is the Adam Lowry line on the ice now. This line won it for the Jets here at Canada Life Center in Game 7. For the far side, the Stars get bumped off the puck. Hellebuck will play this one out. In trouble. Got it off on time over to Pionk. And a big hit towards the far corner. Just held inside by the Stars at the left point. When they go across the ice, they will. It is Lyubushkin who tees one up. That was the pass down low for Granlund. The finish line out there. Hence at Gretzky's office. Going back for Lyubushkin to Lindell. It's a Lindell deep shot. Who's out in front? And that one swept away by Lowry. Game 7 overtime hero in the 5th period. In a game that spanned 96 minutes and 10 seconds. Third longest Game 7 NHL history behind the first ever Game 7 in NHL history. 1939 between the Bruins and Rangers. With sudden death Mel Hill scoring the triple overtime winner. Moving up the far side now is Miller. He gets sticked away by Johnston. Robertson making his return to action for the first time since early April. The Arcadia, California native. Who says California guys can't play hockey? It is Luke Shen all the way back. 6 away from Marchment. Tie up between Ceci and Connor will settle it down. Up the middle it gets moved up. Scheifele from Velarde. Return feed. That was chopped away at by Lindell. Scheifele gloves down the clearing attempt. A pass it directly out to Johnston. He's electric Game 7's return feed. Too far for him as he got stick lifted. From the near corner, Scheifele gets up. It rolls behind Hellebuck's cage for Fleury. Aiden Fleury, former first-round pick with the Carolina Hurricanes, has been a journeyman in his career and has settled into being a role player. Off the near side, the 4th line's out there for the Jets. Barron. Tanev sent it in. In his second stint with Winnipeg, different jersey number. That's because Velarde took number 13, which was his original jersey number, and our first stoppage at the play. Liam Bishop tangles up Tanev in the meantime. And Mills have to separate the two of them. Skardar Neal, 4-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. Outscoring opponent 16-10 at home. Outscored the Blues there. They were outscored by the Blues on the road, 5-17. Hellebuck was pulled 3 times in that series. All of them have been on the road. Eric Comrie, the backup, spent a brief but very forgettable tenure with the Buffalo Sabres. There's an offside. Road teams are 8-2 between the NHL and NBA in this conference semifinals. The only team with the home wins, as strange as it is, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that just continued on. Here's a one-timer that was patted away by Hellebuck. That continued onward with the New York Knicks victory over the Boston Celtics as the Celtics' 3-point shooting woes continued onwards in the 4th quarter. I know, but for a team whose 3-point shooting was their bread and butter in the regular season, just seemed to vanish. And it's not just Tatum, it's the entire team. Kept inside and falling down was Connor, or rather Perfetti, as he took a spill as he lost his footing. All the way back is Bishop, who will restart. Perfetti with 2 goals in Game 7 against the Blues as this puck reaches Hellebuyck. Every Jets goal in that Game 7 was on a deflection. Up for the far boards, the Stars backed up to their own bench. First period of Game 1 of this West semifinal matchup. Up the near side, this is moved up. Here's Duchesne who takes it in. Duchesne slows up at the left point. Ira Sagan says this one around for Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin towards the crease, kicked out, rebound loose, and this one up high and missed it. Settled down by Ehlers at the near half boards. Backtracking away from Duchesne. And backhanding this one onto the tie-up as it bounced onto Winnipeg's side. Perfetti slowing up, waiting for the trailer options. Perfetti broke it up, and the Stars will go back with Granlund. Up the far side, they have numbers. From the top of the left circle, hit a body in front. The Jets don't have a shot on goal just yet. One defender is without a stick. This one bounced up over the crossbar. Hits kept it alive behind the net. Going back for Ceci. Cody Ceci sends it back over to Rantanen, who dangles around Ehlers. Rantanen lost it. Chopped it right by Namestnikov down low for Granlund. Granlund out for Rantanen. Turned away by Hellebuyck. The Stars had the first 5 shots of this game, and this one stayed in play. 10 shot attempts with the Stars. The Jets have yet to record a shot attempt. Deja vu last night between the Caps and the Hurricanes for how it's looking early. 11 points his last 3 games for Rantanen. 4 in the first period of Game 7 against Colorado as this one airmailed and out of play. 4:45 into the first period. Mikko Rantanen wanted to go short side. Hellebuyck was not buying that. He's getting peppered with shots by Peter DeBoer's team. The Knicks are the only team in the play-by-play era to have 2 20-point comebacks in the same series. And that was against Boston there. It may also have to do something with the Celtics being anti-clutch. Off this face-off, the Jets will pick it up and clear it down. Scooped up now by Petrovic, who's been standing out here among the fill-ins. He replaced Matt Dumba on the lineup. Shen tried to stick it away. The Stars hold it. Out to the right point. Robertson fell down. It goes all the way back for Lyubushkin. Up the middle. Moved up the ice by Dallas one more time. Continue their dominance. And Robertson slightly offside. The Hellebuyck struggles have been evident. Of course, his warm-up routine shows that his eye movements, his eye muscles are getting ready so as to improve on his reflexes. He does things on repeat. He catches that last puck so as to give Dylan Sandberg a chance to get his offense up. He's more of a defensive defenseman. Off this face-off, it is fired around by Harley, who's been excellent when taking over for Miro Heiskanen. Tie up behind the net, comes back out in front. Tanev lost it, and then several Jets fall down like bowling pins, including Tanev. Up the near side, by the penalty box doors. Near that side, Dodonov gets forced out. Sam Steele around Iafallo. Steele centering pass, and that gets knocked away by a defender in front. Barron scoops it up, and it will move it up the near side for Pionk, who fires around the near side. Bishop picks it up. The towering Swiss defenders for Alex Petrovic. Jets have yet to record a shot attempt in this game. Jake Oettinger has not been tested. Carrying it inside, 1-on-4. Stars wait for reinforcements, instead they'll bank it around. Hayden Fleury will start up with Dylan DeMello on his side, and Scheifele gets rocketed by Bishop. Fleury will restart for DeMello. Up the far boards as the Jets take it inside. Cross-ice pass. Connor going to get a stick on it, and it's left behind for Dallas to pick it up. For the far side, this one fired through the far end boards. Hellebuyck will leave behind into harm's way, but there's a tangle up with Scheifele fighting off his man. Back to Lindell. Around the boards. May have bounced off Hellebuyck and up for Ceci. Ceci kept it alive. Wrapper chance! And Hellebuyck turned it away. Ceci goes all the way back. Here is Lindell again. Fights it around again. Sagan let that one go. Connor ties up his man. Ceci kept it in. Ceci deflection! Moves right in front! And Fleury was there to sweep that one away. The Stars keep it alive. Here's Cece. Cross-ice pass, bounced off a skate. Another shot. Hellebuck's got it. That's the 16th shot attempt for the Stars. In this game, the Jets have yet to even record one. Mikko Rantanen has been absolutely ferocious ever since Game 5 of the first round. We'll be right back in a moment. Peter DeBoer knows about the streak that the Jets are facing. Game 1 of the Western Conference Semifinals. They have lost 8 consecutive Game 1s. 2022 against Calgary in the first round. 2023 against Minnesota, Seattle, and Vegas throughout their deep run. 2024 against Vegas, Colorado, and Edmonton, and now this year against Colorado. It is fired down the ice by Niederreiter as gloved down by Ottinger. That's not going to count as a shot. But at least it's something so as to test him. But they're going to count as a shot on goal. I am Alec now on the play-by-play. There's one. Dallas' last Game 1 victory was the opening game of the 2020 Stanley Cup Final. Adam Lowry for this offensive zone face-off for the Jets. He wins it cleanly. Pionk gets it off and fired it wide. That's just the second shot attempt by the Jets so far in this game. For the far quarter, they want to pry this one free and they get it out to the right point. Pionk holds onto it, outfires this one from distance. And it flutters over to the far boards where Ottinger fought it up. And this will be fed up through the far side where Rantanen is there. Forced wide by Pionk. Rantanen still holding onto it. Rantanen going to right point for Cece. Cece lofts one over the head of Hellebuck. And he places one away. Baseball bats it to himself and will catch it and cover. Granlund was right there, threatening to strike in front. So Michael Granlund on this top line for Dallas. As he was in the case of an injury, he filled in admirably in the absence of Robertson. The face of Dallas' franchise. Rantanen is no slouch. He's a superstar. And he has the 15 most points in the NHL when combining his stats between Colorado, Carolina, and Dallas this year. 35 goals in the regular season for Robertson this year. He led the team. Face-off won by the Jets, and they forced this one out. The Stars will take it up with Lindell. Backhanded inside, and being pursued by Sagan. Over the near half boards, Marchment there, tried to pry free, and Ehlers will take it up. Nikolai Ehlers almost lost it. He'll fire it around. Nemestikov gives chase to Cece. Right behind the net, they tangle up right at the puck. Perfetti tried to poke it free. He comes back for Nemestikov, but Marchment was right there. Nemestikov keeps his one alive, but fired it right off Marchment's stick. And it's cleared out by Dallas, controlled by Miller. Colin Miller sends it back, and Luke Shen is getting tied up over the far boards. Dallas will play this one out with Ottinger. Through the middle. They'll send to the far side. Curling it up onto the near side now and chopping it around a steal. DeMello wants to get it out. but can't do so as it's just held in by Dallas. Hayden Fleury right behind the play. Fleury through the near half boards for Connor. Rink wide finds DeMello. Stretch pass, here's Velarde. Velarde for the near side. Watched by Harley. Got it to Scheifele. Scheifele was dispossessed, but keeping it is Fleury right around for the end boards. Velarde gets tied up. He and Scheifele both struck by Lyubushkin and Sagan. Connor wanted to help him out, but it's kept inside by the Jets after the Stars tried to clear. Velarde down low. Out front, Connor! Ottinger makes the first good save of this game and will cover. As the answer for Kyle Connor, 12 points throughout this postseason, leading the Jets. He's tied with Mikko Rantanen in that category. A one-time feed from Velarde to Connor, right on the money. And was fired so quick. Wow. 12 points in the first round, 6 more than any other Jet. At 5-on-5, they've outscored their opponents 47-35, the most in the NHL, the Connor Scheifele Velarde line. Jets want to get it out, but can't for the moment. A little bump off the puck. Here's Iafallo to keep this alive. On the near corner, Tanev joining there. Probably free, but Ben has it. We'll move it up the far side for Harley. Too far for Sagan, and it'll be iced. .41 left in this first period. We have yet to find out who scored the first goal of this game. But so far, Dallas dominate early in this period. Winnipeg trying to get a pushback. They've had their looks in the offensive zone. And so far, based on the trends, the Stars are outdueling them. 17-3 shot attempts. Feels like deja vu of Carolina-Washington. And it's won by the Stars from Sagan. Up the far side, this bounce up and stayed in play. Sandberg knocked it back, but the Stars will have numbers coming in for the far side. Watching for the far corner. Right on in front, this gets deflected. Ben had the last touch, and the Jets will move it up with Ehlers. Ehlers chips this one inside. Made its way to Ottinger, who made the other hand a catch like a baseball outfielder. Or looked like a pop-up to shallow center. Pop-up to second base, for that matter. So Perfetti skates out onto the benches. So tomorrow, John and I will have coverage of Game 2 of the Carolina Hurricanes and Washington Capitals. I'll be covering Game 2 of the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers. Sticked away by Niederreiter off the faceoff, but the Stars fall onto it and they get it out. Now finally they can make their changes, or maybe not. Take it back inside is Appleton, who goes around Lyubushkin. Appleton gets it back to the point. Here's Fleury. Deflected. It made its way to Ottinger. Sandberg kept it inside, not Fleury. Here's Niederreiter. Tight shot. Ottinger had the answer. 9:57 to go here in the first period. Third line doing some work here. And Lowry, the hero for the Jets in Game 7 of the West quarterfinals. His line's driving to play. We'll return here from True North Square. Jim Nill used to play for the original Winnipeg Jets from 1985 to 1988. That Jets team relocated to Phoenix to become the Coyotes. He's made some gorgeous goals with the original Jets, and he had some highlight reel fights as well. Those Jets teams were full of fighters. They kept the old goal horde from the original Jets team and held on to it when the second iteration of the Jets came to play here at Manitoba's capital. Their previous game, perhaps their best one in franchise history. Face-off won by Dallas, but the Jets are looking for their second conference finals appearance in franchise history with Jets 2.0 as Connor's offside when Velarde tried to enter in. Jets 2.0 made the conference finals once, 2018, where they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games. They took out the Nashville Predators in 7 games, bowling Pecorine about 3 times. Scott Arniel, first season as the Jets head coach, and a Jack Adams Trophy finalist, held inside by the Jets off the faceoff after it was fired in. For the far quarter, it gets tied up. Velarde there to pry free. Velarde wants to get it back towards the point. He falls down. And for the far half boards, the Stars get this one by Luke Schenn, who will retrieve it at his own zone. Schenn spins it forward, gets it to an open Velarde. Sent backwards to Schenn, who will go across for Miller. Kyle Miller leading the way onto the near side around the embankment and on for Mason Appleton's the third line is out there again. Comes out towards the high slot where Rantanen picks it up. Michael Granlund up the far side. Luke Schenn with 37 hits in the postseason and 300 in regular season. Cross-ice passes go all the way as Granlund fires one. And that was from the far half boards. Hellebuck saw it all the way. That's why you have those eye movements before the game starts. So Michael Granlund has been one of the smart pickups. And Granlund's starting to feel more comfortable here settling into his role with the Stars. Here he takes his puck off the faceoff, centering pass up front. Getting loose out in front. Game to Petrovic, fires one deflected, and that didn't make its way to the net. Right behind his Granlund, chips it over to the left point. Here's the one-timer. That was wide for a screen, and this is cleared down by Niederreiter. And icing on Winnipeg. Mason Appleton can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oettinger came out to play it. All the way back as Niederreiter subs out. Well, they're going to say it was not an icing. The officials have corrected their error on the stoppage. So this faceoff will come outside the Jet zone. Fleury will go across as this is moved up for Iafallo. Another whistle. Tyler Seguin out there. But in the first round goal differential, both teams won despite having a negative goal differential. -3 for Dallas, -6 for Winnipeg. The latter was the worst to win a series in recent memory. The last team to win a Stanley Cup with a negative goal differential in the opening round, the 2015 Chicago Blackhawks. And they won some overtime games, one in double overtime from Duncan Keith, another from Brent Seabrook on a triple overtime winner. 1 minute in. Up the near side. The Stars pick it up and they want to clear but can't. Back for Lyubushkin as he fires around the near boards. This goes by Dylan Sandberg or Ryder Hayden Fleury. Fired inside. He got twisted and turned. Here's Oettinger play this one out. And it's held in by the Jets with Iafallo there. Through the far corner. Ben levels his man. Barron keeping this one alive. Harley tangled up. So is Lyubushkin. Barron still keeping it alive. Tanev right back for Barron. Throw a star in front. Couldn't tuck this by Oettinger. With the far half boards, it is Harley. Wanted to play it out. He does. Fleury will restart, and the Stars will change. The Jets will also change. Fleury fires it around, banged up near the end of his shift on a hit from Sam Steele. Stars trying to get it up, and it goes right by one of the Jets. Miller is all low in his own zone. Schenn helps him out, and it's backhand inside by Nemestikov. Oettinger plays it out, but Perfetti arrives to keep this forecheck going. Batted up, Nemestikov there. So was Ehlers. Couldn't find anyone. Rantanen takes it away. And up the middle, Wyatt Johnston tried to swoop in, but is played away by Miller. Nemestikov gets into an open Ehlers as he's moving down the middle. Ehlers tied up on the pass, but it comes loose onto the near corner. Cece played it out for Rantanen. Rantanen braces himself, plays it out through center. And the Stars slow the pace down. Fired around through the near boards. 1-on-3 for Sam Steele. Ehlers played this one behind for Sandberg. Rantanen is the first player ever with a hat trick in the third period of a Game 7. And Stars are the first team to complete a third period Game 7 regulation multi-goal comeback. Up the near boards. Johnston got tangled up by Sandberg, who'll hold on to it. Right after that puck was 60 feet up into the air. Connor goes rink wide for Velarde, who gets held up. And it's going to be our first power play of the game, as Velarde got held up from behind right near the horse collar. Mason Marchment's going to go off, I think. And he will. Marchment's stick gets caught. There's no question about that, as he was hooking Neil Pionk right by the armpit, and Marchment was shaking his head, visibly upset with that. It's 2 minutes for hooking. I thought it was a holding call. That was uncalled for. The Jets have the best power play in the regular season. We'll see how this goes here in the second round series. Hintz, Johnston, Cece, and Lindell, the PK for the Stars. Ehlers, Connor, Velarde, Scheifele, and Pionk, the top power play for the Jets. Pionk replacing Josh Morrissey right in front. Connor! And then one skip wide of Ottinger. Ehlers keeps it alive over to our half boards. Pionk going to Scheifele. Fake the one-timer going back for Pionk. Pionk gets closed off and going over to the far side. And standing there is Ehlers going down low. Ehlers in front. And Ottinger holds firm as Velarde tried to rush up and get the chop at it. Kyle Connor was driving towards the crease. Cole Perfetti bumped back down to the second power play. Spent time on the top power play. Filling in for the injured Mark Scheifele. So it went down low. Ehlers made a double move. And through open space, tried to get one 5-hole through Ottinger, but he wasn't buying it. So far, the goaltenders are holding firm. And one of the narratives here is which one of the two netminders will be a starter for the United States and the 2026 Olympics in Milano. Up at the right point, Pionk off the faceoff. Connor set one up for Velarde, who gets it back for Pionk. Ehlers at the left side. All the way back onto the point. Kopp set up on a careless pass, and the Stars will enter up 2-on-2. Oscar Bach is offside. 1:21 left on the man advantage. 5:51 left onto the first period, but what you want to do is that you want to fire towards the net. Mark Scheifele got checked up high on the face. Remember, he's just coming back from an injury suffered in Game 5 of the Western Conference quarterfinal. That only was amplified on the heavy hit from Braden Shen, in which Shen was called for interference. 5:51 to go in the period. Stars win this faceoff as Lindell will slap it around through the far boards. He waited for that puck. Connor gets this one back. Steele is hounding the puck. He'll retreat. Connor. The Jets are all the way back. Fed up front for Connor. Will lead the way. Up the far side. Taking it up inside as Connor parked at the far corner. All the way back for Morrissey right point. Then top of the left circle for Ehlers. Manning it around is Scheifele at the near corner. Right behind the net. Now getting it out for Connor. Pionk readies up for the potential one-timer. Instead it goes down low. Tight shot. Didn't go all the way through. Pionk picks it up at the left point. Going across for Connor. Now back for Pionk. Shot Mark Scheifele top of the left circle. Holds on to it down low. Velarde waits. Back for Scheifele. Has the point option. Scheifele shoots it. Loose out in front. Velarde couldn't get this one off. After the initial save by Ottinger. From the near corner, Stars trying to protect the puck and trying to get this one out off this tie-up. Comes free for Ehlers, who gets sticked away by Steele, but gets it all the way for Connor. Pionk. Way around pass for Scheifele, who waits. Will go back for Pionk. Scheifele again. Scheifele still holds. Scheifele down low, Velarde right in front. Toe drag, and he gets bumped off the puck. Ottinger full sprawl to rob Gabe Velarde. 6 seconds left on the man advantage. And top power play group has been out there for the first 154 of the power play. And Jets fans cannot believe it. Around the venue and at True North Square. Here, sir, in shock at that Ottinger save. Think our friend Owen Parkin up here. Owen, how are you doing?
Pretty good after that win tonight. We played a lot better, I thought, tonight than we did on Monday.
Oh, yeah. As the penalty is over, that was a much better game from Toronto. We'll get our impressions of that game. Well, the Jets, after allowing the first 9 shots, after allowing the first 10 shots, they fired the last 8 shots of this game. And the power play helps out. They got some dangerous looks, including one from Velarde. Here's a 4-on-2 for the Stars. And that was a tangle up that Rantanen could not get the shot away. The Stars are bumped off the puck at the near side. A big battle along the near side boards. Lyubushkin in the middle of it. Perfetti is also out there. Hasn't been out there for a while, but so has the rest of the second line. Ehlers has been gassed as a result of being out there for the entirety of that power play where he's part of the top unit. No puck movement. And if it's not going to get any movement, the whistle will be blown dead. It will, as Garrett Reich saw it all the way. And as such, we'll get our stoppage here. 3:43 to go in that first period. We'll come to you. So overall, what are your takeaways from that game between Toronto and Florida? It's strange enough that you guys have the only home wins of the second round between the NHL and NBA conference semis.
And I do think we'll see that change tonight. I think the Jets will manage one here, but I think the Leafs, there's just a few things they need to shore up. Stupid penalties, hand pass by Matthews in the second that was completely unnecessary. It was overall a better game. Our defense is our defense, and not having Stolars, which I have no idea why there was not punishment on that. It kind of hampered us a little bit, but we still managed to pull it out. And the women got the win tonight too over Minnesota 3-2.
Oh yeah, the Toronto Scepters, that is, in the PWHL. I believe it's the playoffs in the PWHL.
Yeah, game 1 of the semifinals. Montreal-Ottawa goes tomorrow night. I'll be able to watch that one in full, which I'm looking forward to, because there's no Canadian teams playing until 9:30, I believe. I caught some of the first, and then went out to the living room TV, and we don't have the network that was carrying it, FanDuel Sports Network North, on that one, so I didn't manage to catch the last 40, but I caught a good chunk of the first period.
But nonetheless, what a response here, especially the two Maxes, which Steve Dangle likes to say, Maximum Domi!
Yeah, 2 goals from Domi. That was very nice to see. He's had a great postseason.
A playoff performer, and all of his goals that came in Game 2. So there's something about Game 2 Max Domi so far in this year's playoffs. Here's a tie-up of the face-off, and both teams still fighting for the puck. Control game by Winnipeg. Can't get it out, as it's held inside at the near half boards by Duchesne. Back Duchesne, the former Av, onto the near corner. And it's a recurring theme that former Avs have been ending the seasons of the Avs in the last 2 postseasons to get series victories for the Stars. One-timer near side. Hellebuyck tangled up. The puck is loose but came out to the far boards. Bishop wants to hold. He does. That puck is sticked away. Across for Petrovic. Petrovic's shot hit a stick. Duchesne sews it down. Tied up. It'll come out for Sagan. Onto the left point. Bishop's long shot. Hellebuyck saw that one. Iafallo wants to clear. And it gets batted down. Delayed offside on the Stars as Dallas is changing. For the near side, gets deflected through, and Ottinger will play it out for Petrovic. Alex Petrovic, who before last season never played an NHL game in 5 years as the Stars are offside. See, profile, was it?
What'd you say?
Oh yeah, see, profile Rantanen, first player with 4-point periods in consecutive games, and the first player with a third period Game 7 hat trick. This guy's out for revenge.
He's insane, Mikko Rantanen.
And when John and I were on the broadcast the other day covering Game 7 of the Stars and Avalanche, That was one of the greatest revenge games ever. Here it is. Mason Appleton for the right side. Appleton's shot blocked, and it comes out to the mesh. And you know, one of the pleasant surprises for the Jets in this postseason has been Mason Appleton, who is third on the team in points. All of them have been assists. One of the big energy forwards on that third line alongside Adam Lowry, the team captain, and Nino Niederreiter, former Minnesota Wild man. The Jets take this face off. Around is Connor. It's some open room, and that's kicked out by Ottinger and out of play. Bottom of the right circle had that open space. And at first, it seemed to be deja vu of yesterday's Caps-Canes first game matchup, but doesn't look that much as we have watch parties around, not only at True North Square, but also at PNC Plaza at Dallas. Here's Connor, turned away by Ottinger as he got another shot off and tight off a face-off. And it's Sandberg who sticks it ahead for Scheifele. Scheifele up the right side. Scheifele, tight shot, kicked out by the Otter. And it's moved back for Rantanen as Sandberg tried to keep it. Rope hits, comes in one-on-one. Waits for help, backhands it around the boards. Connor tied up by Granlund. That allows Rantanen to get onto the action. Bounce up at the far side. The Jets will play this one out. Here's a 3-on-2 as one of the stars is down. Connor to Velarde. It's Scheifele kicked out. I got the order wrong, though, but nonetheless, that was a grade A chance by the Jets. The Stars will flip it in and will settle it down. Neil Pionk from his own zone, getting acclimated to the action. Now the Jets have taken the shot leaderboard after allowing 9 of the first 10 shots. The Stars have allowed 11 of the next 13. Perfetti gets tangled up behind the play, 80 seconds to go in the opening frame. Played out onto the far side, no icing as it's waved off. Luke Shen all the way back. Moved up front for Vlad Nemestikov. Too far on the pass for Colin Miller, who fires it around. Left right behind by Ottinger. Play towards the far boards. And it's played around. Here's a 2-on-1. All alone is Miller. Here's a shot. And it's fired off the bar. 55 seconds left in the first. Nemestikov points it to the side, whereas Ehlers who fires this one down. 48 seconds to go as the Jets will make changes. Petrovic will play this one up. Through the middle, gets bounced on in. Right behind Hellebuck, picked up by DeMello. Dylan DeMello, former San Jose Shark and former Ottawa Senator. Played this one up, but it landed onto a Star stick. On the right circle, here is Duchesne, trying to find some open space. And the net comes off on Hellebuck's crease as one of the Stars bump right into it, and that's why we have the stoppage. But Kyle Connor almost had the first goal of this game twice. And Gabe Velarde, both chances were at the net front between Connor and Velarde. And the last one from Wyatt Johnston actually bounced off the blocker side of Hellebuck. It's a nice opening act between these two star-studded netminders. And the big dilemma, who is going to get the starting gig when Team USA plays at the 2026 Olympics, as this faceoff is won by the Jets. Sandberg finding Pionk. Moved it up the far side for Appleton. Niederreiter gets tied up and stick lifted. Stars play this one out through center. It'll be settled down by Sandberg. Almost gave this one up, but there was a stick lift. 10 seconds. And there's a whistle here. What is the call here? There's a scuffle right at center ice, I think. And the clock operator didn't hear the whistle. I think that they'll have to put some time back on the clock because the whistle may have sounded with 8 seconds left. The clock shows 4.9. High sticking penalty. That's going to be on Cody Ceci. Yeah, he quipped up Niederreiter up high. And if the Jets don't score quickly here, there'll be carryover power play time entering the second period. And Ceci is upset at John Hebert. They have put 3 seconds and 3.7 seconds back on the clock. Clock shows 7.6. That is the time of the stoppage. The top faceoff group is out there now. Connor, Scheifele, Velarde, Ehlers, and Pionk. Pionk filling in for the injured Josh Morrissey. Jets win the faceoff. Here's the old Pionk high drive that bounced off Ottinger. Will be played over to the near half boards, and that'll run down the first period. Entering the second, the Jets will have a minute 53 of carryover power play time. And we're scoreless here after 20 minutes of action. The closest chances being Kyle Connor, Gabe Velarde, and Rope hits. So, takeaways here from this first period. It's been a goaltender duel.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that this series. Goaltending is both these teams' strong suits. 100%.
The funny thing is, that hasn't been the case for the Jets in that first round, but ever since that second period, the Jets locked in goaltending-wise, and Hellebuck put on his serious face and said, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Maybe I should have specified on paper goaltending is both these teams' strong suits.
Well, on paper, because for all the talk about these two teams, they did have some relative weaknesses. The Jets, of course, is the obvious one. The Stars one is pretty much less focused on, because for all the talk about offensive depth, their big weakness is defense. Thomas Harley has been filling in nicely for Miro Heiskanen, but he's no Heiskanen. And that's the main thing. As we go over to the shot boards, Ottinger is 13 of 13, Hellebuck 12 of 12. As to give you the scoring recap of Game 2, Caps, Leafs. It began with a pair of power play goals, one by each team. Barkov to begin things off from Jones, and Patches. Still feels weird seeing him in a Leafs uniform, but old habits die hard between him and Brad Marchand, knowing the Bruins-Habs rivalry. Those are the goals.
I've never gotten used to Pacioretty in a Leafs uniform either.
Me neither. I've always known him as a Hab or a Knight. Then, as we speak of Marchand, he got the first goal at the second period. It took just 15 seconds. But then 4 minutes and 3 seconds later, William Nylander. And you know what he loves to do in the playoffs? Elevate his game.
4 goals, 6 in 9, 6 in 8 games.
Yep. His 6th goal of the postseason. He leads the team in that department. And the Leafs would not look back from there. It is Mad Max with his 2nd of the postseason at the 17:09 mark of the second. But in the third period, that's where the drama rose. Anton Lundell tied it. But then 17 seconds later, Mitch Marner, unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Leafs hoping to keep him and hope that's not the last ride with him. But as such, what a clutch goal it is for Marner to put the Leafs up 4-3, and the defense held on. And Joseph Woll with several big robberies, including a highlight reel robbery on Mackie Samoskevich. That is outstanding stuff from the Leafs tonight. And when you look at the forward depth on the Panthers, you would imagine that Samoskevich, who spent most of the time on the third line next to Eetu Luostarinen and Anton Lundell, you look at him and see his goal production and say, he's better than just a fourth liner. But that's because Marchand is developing a nice chemistry with Lundell and Luostarinen.
Well, Marchand coming over from the Bruins, the Leafs can't escape him in the playoffs.
Oh, old habits do die hard. But could this be the year that the Leafs finally beat Marchand?
It's looking that way. After Game 2, I think the Panthers have always managed to keep it close, and we'll see when they go back to Florida on Friday. I have a rant about that in a moment. We'll see if they can keep the consistency going of having close games, but ones that are relatively in control.
And as of right now, it seems that another team may join the Leafs as the only teams this postseason to win at home in the conference semifinals. In the meantime, as this game was going on, the Oklahoma City Thunder are angry. They want to send a message after they were blasted after they blew a double-digit lead in Game 1. They are running the Denver Nuggets out of their building. It is a 35-point lead at Oklahoma's Capitol.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Oh, I can't imagine all of this, but, of course, when you have best player versus best team, usually who wins this matchup is best team. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Thunder are making sure that he has a game-high 18 points and 7 assists on a very efficient 6 of 7.
Wow. That is insane.
The scariest part? It's not even halftime yet.
Close. Are they over 70 points yet?
82-47, the Thunder lead it.
At the half?
With just less than 2 minutes to go until the half.
It's all-star game scoring. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, is right. And what's scary is Chet Holmgren only has 6 points. But he has a double block previously on the play. Everyone on Denver is getting stifled. This is how you play defense. Bravo, OKC.
Man.
Oh my god. They have held Nikola Jokic to 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and Jamal Murray to 9 points at this point. But you believe that there'll be more from the others. The highest scoring player on Denver, Russell Westbrook with 12 points. Aaron Gordon has 10. No other player on Denver has more than 3. Just update, it's Russ with 13, but oh my gosh. Well, I know they're showing, as I'm watching the feed from the ESPN side, they just debuted a new panelist. Welcome to the set, Chris Pronger.
I love that. Chris Pronger, born in my hometown.
Oh, that's awesome for ESPN. Well, the party is on at Maple Leaf Square. We'll see if there's going to be a party at True North Square.
Are they showing Maple Leaf Square on ESPN right now?
Well, they showed that on the go-ahead goal from Marner, but that was during the game, not after the game.
I was gonna say if they're still going at.
Well, it's always a party at Maple Leaf Square.
10:40 p.m. I guess.
I need to go ahead and watch the new LFR from Steve Dangle. I'm always tuned in for that.
When is Pronger? He's only with ESPN for the playoffs, right? So he won't be. He has the weekend off.
Oh, he might have. I don't know, but we'll have to watch what the news is with Pronger. But so far, I like that. Oh.
I'm here right now, so obviously I'm not. I'll have to go check that out. I'll have to forego Sportsnet during an intermission one of these days, which isn't hard right now. And go check it out. Yes, we're playing on Friday night. That's really annoying. So Saturday they're gonna have Carolina, Washington at 6, and the Oilers at 9. Hockey Night in Canada starts at 7, guys. And Canadian teams play on Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday night. What are you doing?
That doesn't seem right at all for the Canadian broadcasts.
What are you doing? And once again, the Scepters game 2 is on Friday night.
Yeah, wait for.
Are they doing this on purpose?
Oh, that would be torture. Because ideally, you want to schedule the Maple Leafs game for one game, and the Scepters for one day, and then if you want to schedule playoff games between the Maple Leafs and the Scepters, the Maple Leafs if you want Maple Leafs as the first priority, schedule them for the first day. And then the Scepters, schedule them for the second day. Separate the two of them.
This is hilarious. I'm going to get to watch every game of the Montreal-Ottawa series. Also, it's exclusive on on Amazon Prime, but thankfully they have a broadcast deal with Minnesota to put it on FanDuel North, which I get also. I'm going to get to watch every game of the Montreal series, but the way things are looking, I'm going to get to watch maybe half of a Scepters game, and that's if I watch it on the TV that has access to that.
Oh, I don't know what is going to go on with that. Though I want to do some takeaways from yesterday's games, as all 4 teams from yesterday will be playing again tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yeah. So yesterday, the final score painted close games, but when you look at the deeper picture, you will realize that those games were not even close at all.
No.
Because Carolina and Edmonton, the 2 opponents in the 2006 final, they dominated their respective games. And the Canes got lots and lots of shots towards the net. This is a team that likes to fire from anywhere on the ice. Point shots, slot shots, shots from the circle, you name it. They like to fire at the net at will.
Yeah, and I caught some of the first period of the Edmonton game. I saw it was 2-1 at the end of the first. I'm like, okay. Then it was 3-1. I'm like, there's no point. And then I come back an hour later, and the Oilers have won 4-2. I did catch overtime of the Carolina-Washington game, though. That was fun. I said it before the series started. I think people are underestimating the Hurricanes.
Myself included.
I don't think this is gonna be a walk in the park. And I think if Washington allows themselves to be, they could be caught with their head in their ass and lose the series.
Logan Thompson was forced to stand on his head because the Hurricanes were all over them. After the Alexei Protas goal, the shot attempts were extremely lopsided. It wasn't even close, as Carolina was angry after allowing a 2-on-1 between him and Nick Dowd, with Brandon Duhaime setting it up. Then finally, tying it up with a slot shot from Logan Stankoven. And then to end it, I thought it was Seth Jarvis at first, because I thought he got a piece of Jacob Slavin's shot. The puck never bounced off his stick. There was a screen in front by both Jarvis and Jordan Staal. The goal was credited to Slavin, Jordan Martinook, and Dmitry Orlov, the assist. What a win for the Canes. But we need to keep this up. And then
that great goal in the second overtime.
That was in the New Jersey series, Sebastian Aho. Slavin ended this one in the first overtime, just 3 minutes in. And then in the Oilers Golden Knights game, it was a tight first period. But from that point onward, the Oilers limited the Knights to around 5 total shots on goal, while they completely took over from there with 17 of their own. After Mark Stone scored the first 2, won the power play, here's Corey Perry to pull within 1. Leon Draisaitl tied it 57 seconds into the third, and for the winner, Zach Hyman. At the Addis Insurance, Connor Brown doing his best Nathan MacKinnon impression. I said MacKinnon because Brown's a righty, even for McDavid being his teammate, but given that Brown's a righty, MacKinnon is a more accurate comp. Well, that was domination for the Oilers.
Corey Perry, how old is he now? Oh my God.
He's 40 years old. Or 39, close to 40. He'll turn 40 in 9 days.
Speaking of 40-year-olds, one is going to end his career in about 2 weeks, but he's not going to do it in the NHL. Marc-Andre Fleury said yesterday he's going to play for Canada at the Worlds starting Friday.
Well, he's not done yet. He said, he made the announcement, I want to play for the the IIHF World Championships. I think he got the message from Captain Canada, Sidney Crosby.
Yes, who I believe is making his World Championship debut, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, I think it's a nice message from 2 former teammates. And I would imagine that once Fleury retires, he'll sign a one-day contract with the Penguins to retire.
Are you going to watch any of the World Championships?
I want to tune in, yes.
I know they're not at the most convenient time for you.
Oh, given that we do have the Stanley Cup Playoffs and the NBA Playoffs, and not to mention on Memorial Day Sunday, it'll be the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indy 500 in that reverse order.
Yeah, well, if it's NBA playoffs or a good ice hockey world championship game, you know what I'm taking all day. But, Indy, that is in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks from this coming Sunday.
That's what I thought. Oh, man, that... And then the Coca-Cola 600. I still call it the World 600 sometimes.
Well, that's the original naming of it, but you would not be wrong with either one because the World 600, longest race of the NASCAR season. And one thing to watch between these two, I don't want Mother Nature to get in the way of another Kyle Larson double.
It did last year, I believe.
Yeah, it did. Justin Allgaier had to fill in for him, and he filled in admirably where he took the Hendrick number 5 from last place to 13th.
Is anyone else attempting the double?
I haven't heard any rumors of such. I haven't heard any confirmations of such, but I don't know if we're going to see word from Scott McLaughlin because he expressed interest in running the double in the past, but it's all crickets from there.
See, that's the thing. You don't usually see Indy guys cross over and attempt it. It's usually NASCAR guys who do it.
Tony Stewart did it. Kurt Busch did it.
Yes. Did Castro Neves attempt it once?
He attempted the 500.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, the Daytona 500, that is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. It's safe to say it didn't go too well for him, which bummed me out because I want to see history from him for him to become the first driver to win both the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500 after Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt. But
now, no one's ever won a double, right? I don't think.
No. We have only seen a successful 1,100 miles between the two of them, for Tony Stewart. That's the only one to this day. But Kyle Larson was solid in his Indy 500 debut. He's going to do it again this year. Let's see if he can convince Scott McLaughlin to do a double and drive to Coca-Cola 600. Maybe paging the Trackhouse number 91.
That's funny. My two favorite drivers, Tony Stewart, and then when he retired, I jumped on the Larson bandwagon. I like it. It had nothing to do with this. Just a crazy coincidence. They both. Well, Larson likes to do a lot of he does a lot of other races, not during the NASCAR season or when there's not a NASCAR race on. He'll go and do dirt tracks. He'll go and do local short tracks.
Oh yeah, one of the better short track drivers and one of the better dirt track drivers, which I still want to see. A dirt track race on the NASCAR schedule, which I don't know why they took away the Bristol dirt race. We're getting underway here in the second period, but if NASCAR can put a dirt race back onto their schedule, that would be awesome, especially if it's going to be Bristol, baby. Here we go. Jets, once again on the power play. The first 7 seconds were killed off at the end of the first period. Shots are 13-12. Jets, shot attempts 27-16. Stars, though. Scoring chances even at 6 apiece as Winnipeg is moving up. Slot shot attempts are 8-7 Dallas. For the far side, there's no centering pass to Scheifele. He gets batted down by, I believe, Sam Steele. For the far corner, Steele tried to get it out. Connor, through traffic, held it in. Pionk, left point, got it out onto Ehlers, but it's picked up by the Stars. They'll hold on to it, and then it'll be fired down the distance. Hellebuck plays this one out right behind for Pionk. Neil Pionk. Over towards the far boards. Moving up is Connor. Team leader in points. Tied with Mikko Rantanen with 12 points in the postseason. Sent back over to the right point. Here's Pionk, who sent this one across. All the way down, it's kicked up by Ottinger on a deep stop. And then Connor keeps this one alive. Connor Looks back for Pionk. Pionk walks the point. The left side is Ehlers. Down low, Scheifele. Scheifele wants to tuck it in. He gets tied up from behind. Velarde rushes in to keep this one alive. Velarde will go back for Connor. Connor from the high slot. Batted up. And this one going towards the far corner. Pionk wanted to hold it. It'll get gloved down at the deep left point. Away from danger as the Jets see this one exit out onto their bench and then over to the middle. Scheifele for Ehlers. Top power play group back out there. Exhausted bodies all around between Winnipeg and Dallas. One timer blocked out in front. And here's a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Wyatt Johnston broken up by Colin Miller. He'll take this up back up with it. Connor walks to the near corner. Connor will get it back over to the right point. Here is Miller. We'll scoot this one around. Connor walking to near half boards. Connor fires one off Ottinger. Penalty is up. Here is Miller, who walks right behind. Cody Ceci makes his way to the bench. Miller sends one deep. This took a bounce off of Esa Lindell's stick. Lindell will fire this away from Perfetti. It bounces up, and this will be scooped up by Hellebuck for Sandberg. Dylan Sandberg on the near corner for Pionk, and is fired onto the far boards for Iafallo. Alex Iafallo stops to the left point. Tried to flip it for Perfetti. He is boxed out on the way there, and the Stars get this out for center. Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin reunited on the same line as they were throughout the mid to late 2010s. Back over towards the left point. Perfetti 6 it away, and back come the Jets. Fired around left side by Iafallo. Alex Iafallo moved it over to the far boards. This line had chemistry with one another throughout the absence of Ehlers. Back deep is Dylan DeMello as he was handling a broken stick. And he'll go towards the bench to get a new one. Towards the far boards, too far for Lowry. Hayden Floyd wanted to help him out. The Stars will move this one up for the far side. It's Rantanen. Shoved away by Floyd, was held in at the point. This shot was blocked in front, and the Jets will move back up with this 2-on-2. Appleton shoved away by Petrovic, and it's bounced at the near corner. Both teams once again fighting for this loose puck. Comes down to the near half boards for Granlund. Flipped it over across the ice, intended for hits, too far for him. Hayden Fleury will pick this one up. Fleury down the near side is Appleton. It's tied up, but here's the backhander. Score! Niederreiter!
Yeah.
And True North Square explodes here as they get the opening goal at the 23-minute, 30-second mark of this game.
There you go. Man, all my teams are winning tonight. Red Sox win too. That's awesome.
Yeah, off the stretch pass, Mason Appleton knew that his lane was closed off. So in time, as he was boxed out by Thomas Harley, he gets it to the open Nino Niederreiter, who banks it off the inside of the left post. Perfect shot right inside to an area which Ottinger never saw this one. By the time it got by him, it's too late. Stars trying to counter. 19th career playoff goal of his career. Third this postseason. One of his playoff goals was the OT winner against Colorado when he was with the Minnesota Wild. That was 11 years ago. From the near corner, just trying to get another one. Luke Schen's shot. And Tanner tried to deflect it, but there's nothing. Stars tried to stretch pass here. 2-on-1 on the counter. That gets closed off quickly. Wyatt Johnston blocked off by the Jets, and it exits out of play onto the mesh. And Niederreiter, with his visor up, he's been outstanding so far. And the forwards getting a lot of work here for the Jets. It's a balanced lineup up and down.
What a goal from Niederreiter.
He needed that. Switched over from the 22 to 62 because of Appleton taking the number 22. Comes out to the right point out this faceoff. Cody Ceci blasts one. And that was off a body in front. He gets his own rebound back. Lindell try one. Bouncing puck. Came loose in front and is picked up by Cole Perfetti. Jets come back 3-on-2 as they go the other way. That one's sticked away by Lindell, who has been excellent in the first round on the defensive side. Dallas has trailed first in 7 of their 8 games. The lone exception was Game 5 against Colorado. Neil Pionk all the way back. Banked it off the near side boards. And this comes out onto the Stars' zone end. Picked up at the near side as they clear it down. The Jets scoop it up. Go Jets go chants here. Whoa, can't decipher the chant here from Canada Life Center, but it's a mocking chant to translate it. The Jets will get it out. Well, through the far side, it's dumped in. Hellebuck places it out. Oh, now, I don't know what it is, this chant, but here it is, sticked away and around towards the near corners. This is bounced off Rantanen. Granlund swinging a miss on a sharp shot, and it'll be screwed out by Velarde. Gabe Velarde chipped this one inside, but Winnipeg is known as an intimidated crowd, especially in postseason play. It's one of those times they chanted, "Who's your captain?" during one of their games, and Ottinger plays this one out. Another time, they chanted Katy Perry to heckle Corey Perry. Chipped inside by Kyle Connor, but the Jets' top line will make their changes. The Stars will pick it up at their own side. They'll fire it in. And that went off of Oscar Bach in pursuit of Evgeny Dadonov. From the near corner, Sam Steele ties up his man, but Niederreiter helps out the Jets. It's not out though. Petrovic deep shot. Takes a bounce off a Jet. He'll recollect it at his own zone. On the near side. Chipped in by Bach. And first one towards the puck is Luke Schenn, the former Nashville Predator and Vancouver Canuck. On the near corner, it is Miller, who stick this one away from Steele. Miller still looking for an option to pass. He'll go right side for Luke Schenn. Schenn will send this one up. It's bounced off a stick. Collected by the Stars, down deep by Petrovic. Bounced off Niederreiter. Looking to expand on this 1-0 lead to go up 2-0 with a second. Petrovic and Bischel both there to tangle up the Jets. This puck is pinned towards the wall. And Iafallo gets wrestled down. So are Barron and Bischel. Through the near corner as these two teams wrestle onwards for the puck. Came free. Robertson out to play it. Iafallo tangled him up. Back towards the left point. Sandberg left it for Pionk. Point to point as Pionk fired it wide intentionally, trying to get a rebound, but none came there. Petrovic holds onto it. Free on free will fire down inside, off Hellebuck's pad, and the Stars will make their changes. From the far corner, Dylan Sandberg fires it down, gets slowed up by Cody Ceci. Pionk spent 46 minutes and 15 seconds of time on ice in Game 7 against St. Louis, and the Manitoba Miracle had the primary assist when he fired the shot that was deflected in by Adam Lowry for the game winner to end the third longest Game 7 in NHL history. For the far corner, center for the ice. That pass missed Jason Robertson and it'll be iced. No icing though. No icing, as getting a piece of it was Robertson, who missed the puck. For the near boards, there was a bump on Vlad Nemestikov, and the Stars turn it over. Back inside is Perfetti, but Nemestikov was down, slid down to try to prevent the offside, but the officials were not buying it. And it's 1-0 Jets. At this point in time, be right back with you from Winnipeg with the Jets up front. And as we speak of the Nuggets and Thunder, the 87 points set by the Thunder are a first half record in postseason play. Wow. Oh. And Mikal Bridges, this is what the Knicks traded for. They wanted defense out of him. They got defense out of him.
Man.
Ooh. Oh,
So
man.
we're on commercial now?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Actually, let me have a look at this PWHL schedule and see what's happening. So we had the Toronto game tonight. Tomorrow, Montreal, Ottawa. That'll be a fun series. I'll definitely have to watch some of that.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Toronto, Minnesota, Friday at 7. Doubleheader Sunday. Montreal, Ottawa at 1, and Toronto, Minnesota, or at 2, and Toronto, Minnesota at 6. Okay.
Oh, And they're promoting Panera Bread on the ESPN broadcast. Come on.
Of course they are.
Dude, Panera Bread is low-key my favorite sandwich place.
I think we have some like in the big cities here, but definitely not up where I live.
Oh. If I ever do visit Canada, then perhaps I may try some Tim Hortons.
You've never had Tim Hortons?
Well, there are no Tim Hortons in my area.
Because I know there are some in the like bigger cities down there. I know they have them. You know what? It's like nothing crazy. It's a coffee shop. It's a chain. You know, I like their dark roasts.
Oh yeah.
And their breakfast actually is probably their next best thing. Their farmers wraps are very good.
Dylan DeMello almost had one from the point, but this one bounced out. As the Stars, they want to get one back. This is a tango up at center ice. Jamie Benn got stick lifted. Mason Appleton with his 7th assist of this postseason. That comprises all of his points. He's been a surprise player on this third line. And a high energy player. One that he excels at. Lindell up the far side. And through the middle, this gets moved up for the near side of the ice. A chop on the stick. As this is Sam Steele handling this puck. Cross ice pass. One-timer. Shot down by Hellebuck and he score! On the rebound. Mikko Rantanen continues his revenge tour.
Damn.
Hellebuck was out of position. And it's tied at 1.
And that was a beautiful goal from Rantanen.
It was loose at the slot.
About that one, man.
Yeah. Hellebuck was out of position and Rantanen caught him out of position. And just like the first goal, it is off the bar and in, even though it was loose over the crease. But with one hand on the stick, he tucks this one inside. Big-time players make big-time plays. And the Stars are back in this. All even up at 1. On the near side. That's the 40th career playoff goal for Rantanen. He has 6 in his last 4 games, dating back to Game 5 against Colorado. Started the postseason with just 1 point his first 4 games. Ended it with 11 in the last 3 before this one. 4 of them came in the third period of Game 7 against Colorado, and another 4 as Hellebuck was down and made another save, this time on Jason Robertson as Colin Miller shoved him. But Rantanen, he has 9 points in his last 3 games, and Hellebuck, he was out of position with the Stars trying to tie him up and trying to get the go-ahead goal. Come on, man, if you're a goaltender, take the goal. We don't need to say this every time. And he is getting some comfort from his teammates, trying to encourage him. He needs to lock into this game, because one mishap can change everything. And that almost changed everything. Lowry and hits. Hence wins it. Auto back onto the right point. Labushkin holds it. Deep shot. Went wide. Loose in front. This came back to the left point for Harley. Harley out in front. No deflection in there. The Jets will pull this one up and will send it down the near side for Appleton. Appleton slows up. Fires it up high. May have bounced off of Harley's stick. 10:42 left in the second period. We're all even up at 1. And the goaltending battles, of course, people are going to wonder who's going to get the nod in net for the Americans in the Olympics when they all play at Milano Cortina between Hellebuck and Ottinger. And it looked like Ottinger had the early edge in this postseason based on last series because of Hellebuck's faltering play. You wonder, does it technically count out as a road game for the Americans when they all headed to Milano? But in the near quarter, this is bounced out from Lindell, and Kyle O'Connor's tangled up. 12 points his last 4 games for Rantanen, tied for the most in playoff franchise history. Here's a 3-on-2 on the way back. Ben gets tangled up. Tyler Seguin sends one on to Hellebuck. The rebound was swept away. Jets moving it the other way as they move it through center. Towards the right side, Pionk. Drop one back to the trailer and Velarde. Velarde's shot kicked out by Ottinger. And it looked like there's an interference penalty against Dallas. It's Jamie Benn, one of the 4 remaining players without a visor in the NHL. It's a turnover underneath as Sagan sends one off the pad of Hellebuck. But Ben, he sets a pick on the play. He elbows out Mark Scheifele and sort of tangles him up. So the Jets will go on the man advantage. Big no-no there. Winnipeg back to the power play. We wanted to get defense into position. But on that last shot, there was nobody in the slot to bank that home for the Jets. But Davis Payne's unit will get out there on the ice. Of course, as good as to mention head coaches, we need to mention assistant coaches because Davis Payne is the one running the power play in Winnipeg. They've been excellent this season. Best power play in the NHL this year. This puck swept away by the Stars, and going back to retrieve is Kyle Miller. The Jets are starting out with the second unit because the first line was out there on the previous shift. It is Iafallo, Nemestikov, Niederreiter, Perfetti, and Miller. Nemestikov for the far corner. Almost lost an edge, stays upright. For the far corner, gets sent out all the way to the right point for Niederreiter, who sets up for Iafallo. Miller on the left side. Nemestikov spins around. He's found a home here at Winnipeg. He gets the puck right back to him. This puck skipped over Miller, and he'll be the first to retrieve it back. As the Stars change penalty kill units, but they might be caught. Sent around for the near side. They picked up at the far boards. Niederreiter was tangled up from behind. Pionk sent it all the way around for the near side. Perfetti down low into the right circle. Left behind from Iafallo to Perfetti. Perfetti all the way back for Miller and then back. Perfetti holds it. Looking towards Miller's direction. Locates him. Miller steps into it. Glove save. Ottinger through traffic. 51 seconds left on the man advantage. And that's going to get the top power play group back out there. Connor, Scheifele, Ehlers, Velarde, and Pionk. You remember, no Josh Morrissey. He played all of 2 minutes of Game 7 before he left with an injury. But a good screen from Niederreiter set up that shooting lane for Miller. And you know how good the Jets are shooting from distance and anywhere. Kyle Connor, one-timer! And that made its way to Ottinger and out of play. 46 seconds left on the man advantage. Connor has a team leading 4 goals. Looking to get his 5th. He was the one pushing the pace offensively for the Jets in round 1. Mikko Rantanen has 6 goals already for the Stars. Scheifele to take the draw. Connor had 41 goals in the regular season, which tied him for 7th. A tie-up. Bob tried to escape with it, looking to backhand this one out, but it's kept in by the Jets. Holding the left point, Pionk from Velarde. This gets gloved down on the attempted pass. Pionk gloves down to clear at center ice. Holding onto it and going for a rink-wide pass that wasn't there was Winnipeg. Pionk will go all the way back. We want to talk about the Jets. Of course, all of Canada on the western side is watching ours. In central Canada, Velarde set this one inside, gets bounced up. Pionk holds the zone. Down low for Connor, who gets boxed out by Lindell, escapes the puck. To the right point, Pionk. Rink wide to left side for Ehlers. Back for Pionk. Connor holds the puck, steps into it. In front, Velarde! A second walk as the penalty expires! And he gets turned away twice by Ottinger. The old Pionk fires this one around. Slap this one off of the deflection that makes its way for a lucky souvenir in the crowd. But one-timers have been the key so far in this second period. And PNC Plaza exploded with the game-tying goal from Rantanen. We'll be right back from Winnipeg. So earlier tonight, Owen, it was the Scepters pulling it up on the Minnesota Frost. 3-2, they held off an attempted comeback from Minnesota. What a game. And what a game it was for Julia Gosling, who's got 2 goals tonight for Toronto. And we're at the break right now, so far, this game, that was a thriller. You had to go from Blair Turnbull, Jesse Comfer and Hannah Miller. The latter had 2 assists on the game. Renata Fast had the other one that was on the second Gosling goal. Comeback attempt from Britta Salemi, from Claire Thompson and Lee Steckling, and Katie Knoll from Clara Hamalarova and Liz Sheppers. But that was all. And throughout this game, Kristen Campbell, 24 of 26 on the night. Nicole Hensley, 34 of 37. The Scepters peppered Hensley tonight. And that's what led them to the win. And the ice crews out there cleaning up the ice. And so far, one tail to the tape. Slot shot attempts. 11-9 in favor of Dallas in slot shots. So it's a slight edge. But the Jets are getting the slot shot attempts that they want and need. Including the goal from Niederreiter. This puck is outside of the Dallas end. And the Jets win this faceoff. Typically, teams that played multiple overtime games will get exhausted and face fatigue. And that applies to teams that win it. And it's the losing end. The team that was on the losing end, they'll be coming out on top later onwards. But that was not the case for the Florida Panthers in that 4 overtime bout against the Carolina Hurricanes. And neither was the case for the Hurricanes in a double overtime win over the New Jersey Devils. Off the near side on this dump in. Ottinger places one behind. Kept inside, and it skips in front of the crease. Stars pick it up, going for the lead. Granlund holds up, going for hits. And they're offside by a country mile. Mikko Rantanen was jumping ahead to play. And you can feel the emotions from Adam Lowry over the benches. The most points in the first 8 games of the Stars postseason, Rantanen is tied for the second most with Rope Hintz in 2023, Mike Modano 2003, Brian Bellows 1991, Dennis Maruk 1986. The only one ahead of all those 5 guys, Steve Payne, 16 points in his first 8 games of 1981 in North Stars/Stars franchise history. Bounced onto the far corner. Miller got tied up. Nemestikov tied up his man as well. Comes back over to the point. Hand off from Petrovic to Bishop. Across for Marchment. Mason Marchment back out there feeds Robertson. First game back for Robo. And Petrovic just took it out of the zone so slightly. It's an offside against Dallas. And the thing with Rantanen, Heiskanen, all those players that you list off from on the Finnish side on Dallas. You can send the all-Finnish line on Dallas between Granlund, Hintz, Rantanen, Heiskanen, Lindell. That's a group of all-Finnish defensemen on the Stars. So they can set up, they could be going for all the Finns here on Dallas. For the far side, collected by the Jets. Looking to play this one out, and it's kicked over towards themselves. The Stars will play it up the near side. Jamie Benn moving up. Here is Matt Duchene. Fired it wide. Picked up at the near half boards by Barron. This one trickled by the defenseman Bishop. Petrovic restarts, looking to make up for his offside. Down the mellow all the way back. On for the near half boards. Moving up the near side. Too far for Iafallo. And Essel Lindell. No icing. For the far corner is a tangle up. Taken away by the Jets. Brandon Tanev, wheel-around shot. Made his way wide. Luke Shen keeping his one inside. Iafallo got tangled up. Here's Lindell. He gets tied up by Tanev, the speedster in his second stint with Winnipeg. Shen kept this one around. And there's a bump out the puck as Luke Shen over to slam right on one of the Stars. Less than 6 minutes to go here. Level at 1. Cody Ceci for the near side. Hellebuck played this one out. Up for the far corner. Barron tried to get a stick on it, and it bounced up. Shen wanted to play this one out. Goes back onto the right point. Labushkin to Harley. Harley's point shot. Score! Deflected in front! It's Rantanen again. It's 2-1 Dallas.
God. I think that makes him the leading goal scorer in the playoffs, too. Gives him the lead over Marner.
Yeah, Nylander you mean, but nonetheless, Rantanen has taken sole possession of first place on the goals leaderboard. Harley fires one that was deflected off the stick of Rantanen from the deep left point. It's the greasy goals that matter come to postseason, and Rantanen is a playoff performer. Elevated to the top line for that very reason. If the Stars manage to win the Stanley Cup this year, Rantanen is one reason why. While by the Jets, as this is Pionk picking it up. Through the far side. Sent back from Sandberg to Pionk. Near side Perfetti. Can't get by Bischel. Perfetti picks it back up. Velarde tied up as well. Around that was Connor. Here's the one Sandberg! And Ottinger gobbled it up. 5:21 to go. On a seeing eye wrister from the high slot. Rantanen with 7 goals this postseason. One of them on a one hand on a stick play. And then on a deflection from Harley's shot. It changed direction. Went to the top left corner. Back in a bit. As of now, it is 99-67 Thunder. Denver has had no answer for OKC in this game. None. They were forced to use 5 of their 7 timeouts, Denver, in the first half. That's how bad it was for the Nuggets. It's a 30-point lead, though. Jokic at 15, 7, and 6. Murray at 14 points, 4 of 7. Aaron Gordon still at 10 points, 3 of 10 shooting. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 22 points, 7 assists. But here's a stat line that pops out the most from Shai. 8 of 10 shooting. That's a very efficient night for him. And they're getting contributions all around the lineup. The starting 5, Jalen Williams with 15 points. And 12 each from Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Luguentz Stort. Aaron Wiggins with 10 off the bench. And Cason Wallace, who they got a draft day from the Dallas Mavericks for the Mavs to get Derek Lively, has 8 off the bench. What a night. And Hartenstein now is 13 points off free throws. It's 14 actually. But the throws up and down. We may also have to go through the other game that happened tonight. The Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks, because there's only one. The New York Knicks have started the club of the list of teams to have, as we get back into action, the list of teams to have 20-plus point comebacks twice in the same series.
That's insane. Of course, we watched most of the first one. Inadvertently. Because the Leafs were doing amazing, but that's insane. And then you get 2 awful games in the Thunder series so far.
Yeah, even for that winner, that was not a good game. Here's Velarde to Connor, moving inside. Connor, wrist it wide. Scheifele on the keep. Tied up at the far half boards. And Johnston bounced it to himself. He'll dump it in, but that gets tangled up by Sandberg. And it's still in play. Cameraman thought it was out of play. Up the near side. This is bounced up. And this is played by Dallas. Almost looked like it was a high stick. Fan on the pass. And back is Niederreiter to play this one up. For the far boards. And it'll be Appleton playing this one inside. Essa Lindell gets shoved by Adam Lowry. Far side now. Dallas moves back up. It is Harley. Dropping it off. Pass intercepted as the lane was red. And then that other lane was red as the Stars keep it in. And Ortiz rented it across. High slot. Fired it. Hellebuck. Shut it down.
Nice.
What a save.
That one, by the way, 104-69 for the Thunder. Yeah, about halfway through the third. A little over.
And if you're a Nuggets fan, you have to be screaming at the top of your lungs, "Not nice!" There was Thomas Harley through a screen that was set by Hayden Fleury right in front of Connor Hellebuck, with Fleury trying to block the shot. Harley used that to his advantage. 3:58 to go here in the second. Off the draw. Harley bounced off Hellebuck, and it's loose. Hellebuck's down, and it was wristed wide. Hellebuck's back up, and a whistle here as Nemestikov touches up. And Dallas will go to their first power play as the game as Seguin was knocked down.
What happened there with the Seguin? It was
a cross check by Hayden Fleury. It was right in front of the goal. The officials are going to catch that every time. Of course, when you cross check, when you push someone and your opponent is turned back against you, that's going to be called a cross check, and Fleury disagrees with that. But a cross check is a cross check is a cross check. Iafallo, Lowry, Sandberg, Schenn out there for the Jets PK as they win this draw. Hintz, Johnston, Duchesne, Rantanen, Harley. They're going with the same top power play group. They're comfortable having Robertson on the second unit as he slowly gets back onto action. Down the near side as the Jets cleared it, Harley will start up. Thomas Harley was an injury substitution for Team Canada and the Four Nations faceoff. Stars power play 7-23 this postseason. Came out to the right circle, out front, and Roping Head scores! Roping hits all low, down low, and the Stars with their torrid hot offense. It may look to be Rantanen. We'll have to check to see, but nonetheless, it's 3-1 Dallas. Came out in front, trying to deflect it.
Man. No one there. He had ages to get that one. That's...
He looked for Hintz, who was in front to deflect it, but it takes an unfortunate bounce off Dylan Sandberg's skate and made its way towards the net. This goal is a hat-trick goal for Mikko Rantanen. Second straight game.
Oh my God.
With a hat-trick for Rantanen. What?
That's 8 goals on the postseason, right?
Yeah. He's now taken the lead. Secured it from William Nylander. He scored or assisted on 12 straight Stars goals. He's basically putting the team on his back now. He's an animal. And here's a quick wrister that fired wide. The Jets will pick it up at the right point. Back down low as it's scooped up by the Stars. Will there be another Manitoba Miracle? Here is Velarde with backhands one down low for Iafallo, or rather Tanev, up for the far side. And for those wondering if Rantanen is just a product of MacKinnon, well, this postseason run says think again. Because Rantanen is having the time of his life here at Big D. Raffetti sends it in, but he is in pursuit of the puck, trying to get it from Harley. Trying to get this one away. And away there is the Jets. Here's a shot, score! At the slot! What a response from Mark Scheifele!
No. First game back, and he pulls the Jets within 1. And on that Rantanen goal, that also secures the points lead over Nylander as well. 15 points, 8 goals, 7 assists. That is insane. Nylander, 6 and 7.
Yeah, 13 points for Nylander, who has had the reputation for showing up at the playoffs as the Jets are within 1 as it's fired around. That shot was a feed to the slot. And always when you're getting to the slot, good things happen. Third goal this postseason for Scheifele. 24th career playoff goal. He ties up the Stars. 39 goals in the regular season for Scheifele, second most of his 14-year career. Duchesne fires it to the far corner where it's picked up by Fleury. Jets get it out, but that bounced off a Stars stick. Velarde, here is Scheifele, up again! Tied up in time by Harley, so no shot in there. And Dallas will get this one out. Settled down by the Stars, here they come again. On the left side, Duchesne going across for Robertson, overskate the puck, but picks it back up. Robertson fires one from deep, gets blocked out in front. And Winnipeg will clear this one out. Here is Robertson who gets bumped. Jets will pick it back up. Once again, it's the first playoff meeting between these two teams. Winnipeg took 3 of the 4 games in the regular season series. Nemestikov from the near corner. One-timer Piak blocked in front by Marchment. He sacrificed his body to get into the way. Marchment backhands one deep. Johnston in pursuit. sticked it away from approaching Jets. Gets backhanded, but it's kept in by Robertson. First game back for him. And Scheifele also in his first game back. Centering pass, nobody in the slot. Final minute of the second period. And then up front, as Winnipeg is going coast to coast. Ehlers, he gets tripped up. And this will be swept away. We stay 5-on-5. And here's the breakout pass. Granlund takes it, 2 hits. Back to Granlund at the near corner. Tie up, the Jets emerge and bank it off the boards. They're clear. Jets wanted a penalty there. There was no call. No arm up from Garrett Rank or Johnny Bear. And as you can decipher from the chants, the fans are not happy about that no call. From the near corner, gets fired back inside, took a hit off a body. Niederreiter bothering his man, and that allows the Jets to clear it out. Broken stick on the play, and Hellebuck will play this one out. Rantanen has a hat trick in 2 of the last 3 periods. Moved up front to center. Here is Brandon Tannen who chips it in. Appleton picks it up. Final seconds here at the second period. Dylan Sandberg. Shot was blocked in front. DeMello gets forced down. And the Jets furious. They think there should have been a penalty called as the second period ends. That's twice in which Jets fans wanted a penalty. And DeMello tangled up with Sam Steele. Right after that shot from Mark Scheifele. The second time, Thomas Harley tied him up. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're not going to fool me twice. And it seemed that Ehlers got tripped up by Bischel. Fans are furious. They believe that the Jets should be on a power play now. And at the end of 2, it is 3-2 the visitors. So, as we go over this, let's go over to that other game, the Knicks and Celtics. The Knicks, they came back from down 20 again to win 91-90 in what has been a defensive contest. The hero again, Mikal Bridges again. Defensive stops, crucial for the Knicks, and he delivered twice in a row. What say you?
Wow, and what a second period that was. We're in for a crazy final 20, man. I can't wait for this.
Oh, can't wait either. But as it is with the Knicks game, I'm impressed by the never say die attitude of the Knicks, coming back from down 20 twice in a row at hostile territory.
Yeah. To win it.
Yes. The first one in overtime, and that one may have been the game of the year in the NBA. And this one, another comeback attempt. The whole story for the Celtics is three-point shooting. It was very reliable in the regular season. They lived by it, but if you live by the three-pointer, it'll also be the first thing you'll die by it. In this series, the Celtics have made, wait for it, just a quarter of their three-point shots. That doesn't seem real. 15 of 60 overall from 3 in Game 1, 10 of 40 overall in Game 2. It's not just one man, as much as people want to pin it on Tatum. It's the whole team. And also, as one thing as I was screaming from the very start, the Celtics are not clutch.
They are not.
I've been saying this from the beginning. They know how to play from in front. But they have a reputation for blowing such leads that you would see giveaway after giveaway. You would think that they were Mr. Beast. Once again, the Celtics prove no clutch genetics in them. That includes Jaylen Brown. 8 of 23. Jason Tatum, 5 of 19 in this game. Al Horford, 2 of 11. Derek White, 6 of 17. Peyton Pritchard, 3 of 9. All of his shots came from threes. The only efficient scorer on the starting 5 was Drew Holiday. 4 of 6. He had 10 points. That's not a recipe for success. Oh, and we also got some news, Owen, about the announcement of the team name of the Utah Hockey Club. It's just been revealed.
The Mammoth. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it.
Well, I think this was the best possible choice after the Yeti was not allowed because of trademark issues.
You know what? I think they should have just kept it with. I think it would have been hilarious if they just kept Hockey Club, Utah HC. Why not? Officialize it, man. let's bring the practice of naming teams sport club to the NHL. Why not? The only name that I've liked over the past 5 or 6 years that since in this recent wave of expansion, I guess you could say, is the Kraken. I thought that was the only good one. Wasn't crazy about Golden Knights.
Their logo is sick, though. I'm not gonna lie. But the Kraken's logo among new teams, that's easily the best one. If we're looking at new brandings of new teams in the last 10 and over the last 10 new brandings, if we're looking at that, easily the Kraken have the best one. I'll wait and see on the Mammoth, but the Mammoth have a clever explanation for their logo, and their color scheme remains the same. So they have not changed their Twitter handle just yet. It's still Utah Hockey Club. But their color scheme is still the same. And they've unveiled new jerseys for their jersey reveal. The fan vote was a huge success. So their logo is a mountain mammoth, and it's a homage to the Ice Age.
Okay. I mean, for Utah, I suppose that makes sense.
Yep. There's a tusk on the ward mark on the letter U. So, and the Utah badge is basically similar to the one that they wore in their inaugural season when they were the Utah Hockey Club. Their color scheme is rock black, mountain blue, and salt white. Rock black for the darkness of night in the mountains and the volcanic rock of Utah's deserts. Mountain blue for Utah's rich winter sports history and their clear skies for more than 230 days a year. Skiing is very popular in the state of Utah. All those ski resorts are so nice. And lastly, salt white, which is the snow on Utah's peaks and the famous salt flats. When you go down the great state of Utah. Of course, playing at Salt Lake City by the Great Salt Lake. The Utah Tusk mark underscores the team's identity and unwavering pride in the state, including the word Utah with the mammoth tusk embedded into the U. The U Tusk mark can stand alone as a bold letter mark. The custom type is a frosty one, strong and regular and italic, featuring angled crossbars on the A and H as a nod to the inaugural season lettering, continuing to evoke the elevation of mountain hockey and the unrelenting pursuit of success for Utah hockey.
Okay. I mean, do you think Utah will be able to support a team long term?
Say what you will. You say what you will about those questions, but what I do know is that fans in the state of Utah are passionate about their sports. It's evident with the Jazz, and it's also evident with the Utah Hockey Club in their first year. They show up to play every time. So I think that long term, it's going to be sustainable. But my greater concern about Utah sports is not to do with the teams itself, but with the dying lake that's releasing toxins in the air. That's my biggest concern.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I'll give it props to the logo, that the Utah State outline is hidden in the mountains. The home remains core to identity. An M in an icy form, a nod to the iconic beast. Huh. And this gives people jokes about the Ice Age franchise. We're just one team away from having a third team named after a sloth. We already have a logo that's taking the shape of a saber-toothed tiger, and now a logo taking the shape of a woolly mammoth. So, we got 2/3 of the main cast of Ice Age, Diego the saber-toothed tiger, and Manny the woolly mammoth. All that's left is Sid the sloth. Get it? Alright, so scoring rundown. To begin the scoring was Nino Niederreiter from Mason Appleton and Hayden Fleury. What a shot that was from Niederreiter. And then Mikko Rantanen with a natural hat trick. His second consecutive game of a hat trick. And frankly enough, in the same period. He has a hat trick in 2 of the last 3 periods. Rantanen, twice at even strength. The third time on the power play. So the assist coming from Yevgeny Dadonov and Sam Steele on the first one. Thomas Harley and Ilya Lyubushkin on the second one. Matt Duchene and Rope Hintz on the third one. Mason Appleton and Hayden Fleury assisted on the Niederreiter goal. Mark Scheifele got the feed from Gabe Velarde on the forecheck in the offensive zone. In the SWAT, shoot first mentality. Pays off. Jets within 1 with 2:25 to go in the second period. And that's where we are at. So, for tomorrow's games, starting with the first game, Canes and Caps. How do you see this one going?
How do I see which one won? Sorry, the game 2 of Carolina Washington.
Yes.
Well, if we see something similar to what we saw in game 1, I think Carolina has a very good chance at taking a 2-0 lead home to try and secure over the weekend and into next week. Capitals just aren't getting the shots off they need to be getting. Carolina, all around, I think, has a better game than the Capitals. And again, I was saying this at the end of the first period. Everyone's sleeping on the Hurricanes. They do it every playoffs, not for necessarily awful reasons. Carolina's not super known right now for being successful in the playoffs, kind of like another certain team we're watching right now. But they have the pieces to get through this. I would love a Carolina-Toronto Eastern Final. I think that would be a thriller. And I'd also rather play Carolina than the Caps. So, you know.
Hey, that's a rematch of the 2002 East Final. And I would love for my second team, the Hurricanes, to go up against your Leafs. That would be a thriller of a series. And then you get to the other one, Oilers and Golden Knights. The Golden Knights look more like their games 2 and 3 selves against Minnesota in this first game against Edmonton. What Vegas needs to do is they need to wake up and realize that the second period just started. That the second round just started. Well, they did in the first period, but then they went to sleep. Besides, goaltending has not been the best for either one of these two netminders between Adin Hill and Calvin Pickard. And that reigns true if you throw in Stuart Skinner or Ilya Samsonov on the backup side. So goaltending, I think, is going to be a complete non-factor in this series. We're going to see track meet after track meet. But given the way the series goes, normally I would say, at first I said Vegas in 7 based on supporting cast, but the track meet style of game actually plays to Edmonton's strengths, I think. What say you?
Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit there. What was the question?
So, what do you see here in Game 2 between the Oilers and Golden Knights? Do you see it going as another track meet?
I think it's possible. I think the problem with the Oilers is they only seem to turn up in the last 25, 30 minutes of these games. They will easily let whatever team they're playing kind of do whatever for the first half of the game. And against Vegas, I mean, they've been fine to do that, I suppose, but they shouldn't be relying on that as a strategy. They got to be more aggressive. They gotta push more in the early stages. These second half game comebacks are going to come back to bite them eventually. So I think Vegas ties it up. I think they go back to Edmonton, making it a best of five.
Yeah. So now as we get Ian on board here, how are we doing, my friend? Oh, Ian, are you there? Well, just wait on that for the moment, but nonetheless, time winding down here in the second intermission. One last thing before we get onto the action in the third period. But we do have our Champions League final 2025. It is Inter Milan for the second time in 3 years up against Paris Saint-Germain. And if you're Kylian Mbappe, you have to be sick to your stomach.
Well, you don't. If you're an Arsenal fan, you also are sick to your stomach, which is me. But yeah, Mbappe going to, what club did he go to?
Real Madrid, who bowed out earlier in this tournament.
Yeah, that's a, and of course we took them out in the quarterfinals. Absolutely, and I didn't have this PSG team going through. I said Arsenal would take them out in the semis. In fact, I was more certain about that than Inter beating Barcelona. Apparently, I was completely wrong. Arsenal they could not get any offensive energy going. We don't have any offensive energy. That's the problem. Like, Saka, Havertz, we don't have one guy. We don't have a Salah. We don't have an Mbappe. And that's the problem.
Whereas Inter and Barca, they have their guys in the meantime.
Yes.
And this PSG team is a team that's based on depth. But in the meantime, the Inter and Barca match, those two legs were the definition of pure, unmitigated chaos.
They were much better than the other semi. By a long shot.
3-3 in the first leg at Barca, 4-3 in the second leg after extra time, where Inter won in the 99th minute. There are no golden goal rules, but Jan Sommer was excellent to get Ian on board. How are we doing?
I'm doing well. Stars up 3-2. Toronto is up two games on the Panthers. That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, in fact, the Leafs have the only home wins of the second round between the NBA and NHL, but they're set to be joined by your OKC Thunder.
Yeah, OKC came back in a big way, but wow about Toronto. Wow.
That was a thrilling way to win the first two games. In Heart Attack City, of course, it's going to go almost around 12 points. Most consecutive goals scored or assisted on in playoff history. Mikko Rantanen stands alone, breaking Mario Lemieux's record set in 1992 with 9. Brad Marchand, Rick Middleton, Guy Lafleur, and Norm Olam are tied for third most with 8. And the third period is underway. This is not exactly Manitoba Miracle territory, but the Jets, they did seal victory from the jaws of defeat. In the regular season, they had 2 wins when trailing after 2 periods. In the first round this series, they had 2 such wins that matched their total. Can they do it again? Right behind the net, the Stars controlling Scheifele stick lifts him. Scheifele gets it up, and Velarde wanted to get it out, and he will. Back all the way is Ilya Lyubushkin. Sends one up for the middle. Duchesne gets bumped off the puck. Velarde tied up by Scheifele. Here's a 2-on-1. Scheifele holds onto it. Has a soft dot, and it goes up. On several tangle ups, comes back to Sandberg at the left point. Whip around and fired around. Harley blocked off the pass. This puck skips by Sandberg. It'll be collected at the Winnipeg blue line by Neil Pionk. Pionk walks the zone and will feed it for Sandberg. Sandberg through the near side. That gets sticked away. Stars come back with Granlund finding Rantanen. Rantanen pirouette sets up in front. And that loose puck was knocked away after the Hellebuck stop. Near side, Appleton protects with 1 stick. Hauled down. And Mikko Rantanen there. They get back up. Moving in with speed. Here's Rope hits. Cycling running that. Wraparound is shut down by Hellebuck. What a stop there for what the hell a puck here. Over to the far corner to dumping. Collected by Appleton. Appleton wheels this one around to the left point for Colin Miller. Fires one deflected wide. That may have been bounced out of Ottinger. Held inside. Adam Lowry plays it out onto the far corner. Ehlers tried to move this one away. It's held in. Ehlers fires it. Bounced out off a stick. But that, I will never forget those 2 game 7s. Marty Johnson coaching the defense of this team. Wade Flaherty, a former goaltender. He is the goaltending coach for the Jets. He's in charge of developing these netminders. Making sure that they're all up to speed. The wideout, ferocious. Rantanen, a hat trick on 5 shots. Off the far side, Jets keep it. Pass or swat was intercepted by Lyubushkin, and the pass was too far. It'll be iced as DeMello goes all the way back. We are 2 minutes and 4 seconds deep into the final frame of regulation. Tomorrow it'll be Caps Canes game 2. Knights Oilers game 2. And for tomorrow's games, as getting the schedule out, as this faceoff's won by Dallas, John will have coverage of Game 2 of Caps Canes. I will cover Game 2 Knights Oilers. Hayden Fleury back up all the way as Mikko Rantanen is in his face. Gets away from him. Fleury fires one deep. Glove down by Harley. Away from Perfetti. Off the far side. Taken up by the Jets. Sandberg for Winnipeg. Now stop of Niederreiter. And it's going to be an arm up in the air, I believe. This did not bounce off Niederreiter. It's iced. So Perfetti will go all the way back for the faceoff. Rantanen on the bench, but you know the terrorizing that he can do. Alex Petrovic back out onto the ice. What a journey it's been throughout the AHL. As the Jets win this faceoff. Split time between the Providence Bruins, Stockton Heat, and the Texas Stars as this puck fired out of play. As the Stars signaled as such. And Rantanen, the finisher, that I would call him. The name of Nusiainen, Finland. Played for the Finnish national team in the Four Nations faceoff. Good friends with David MacKinnon, but they're rivals now. With the far side, the Stars win that draw. Look out! Iafallo gets slammed onto the ice. Up the far side, Petrovic plays it away from Barron. The Stars will start for their own zone. Their pocket is picked, but Tanev can't do much with it. Bischel protects. Out of the reach of Barron. Sagan tied up. He'll find Petrovic. Up the far half boards, and this bounced off onto the Jets bench. Exactly 3 minutes in off Jamie Benn's stick. So Ben, the team captain, as of right now it is 133-88 Oklahoma City in the meantime. So the Thunder are trying to join the Maple Leafs as the only teams to win home games in the second round between the NHL and NBA. Passes sticked away. Here comes Nikolai Ehlers. Closing inside the net. Backhander. That's wide. Adam Lowry trying to hold. Lowry with Appleton holding onto the puck behind the net. Appleton gets it back onto the bright point. Pionk walks it deep. Shot deflected just wide off Lowry. Rantanen is out there looking for a fourth goal. Appleton in pursuit. Rantanen activates up. To the right side, Ceci. Cody Ceci shot bouncing off of Hellebuyck. And no star was there to deflect it inside. The Jets fire from the red line. No icing here. Esa Lindell will pick it up from the far corner. Lindell moves it through the far side of the ice. Intercepted. Here is a 3-on-2. Connor on the right side. Velarde gets tied up by Marchment. Gets it out of danger as the Stars come back with 2-on-2. They'll fire it over to the near corner as Johnston in pursuit. Close stop by DeMello. Arriving for support is Robertson. Robertson trying to get the puck, but can't as Fleury was the recipient of the pass. And away from the play, there's a penalty. Interference against the Jets. Gabe Velarde checked this man up, trying to check the nose for blood. And Scott Arniel watches ours. And Arniel, I'm not a lip reader, but there's some comments from him that he was not happy about that penalty. Ehlers wanted to go backhand forehand to go at the go-ahead goal, but nonetheless didn't do so. Oh yeah, that's an elbow from Gabe Velarde. He'll get 2 for interference, but you could also call it elbowing. As he elbowed Jason Robertson up high, he got bloodied up good. Hintz, Johnston, Duchesne, Rantanen, and Harley on this power play for the Stars. This is not the group you want to put go on the penalty kill against. They're 8 of 24 overall. Here's Harley. Deep shot. Another try. Hellebuyck with 2 saves. For the far corner, Harley keeps it inside. The pass out in front doesn't go. Back towards the point. Mishandled. And the Stars will have this one handled by Jake Ottinger. He'll leave it behind. Iafallo, Lowry, DeMello, and Pionk. The penalty killing unit for the Jets. In this diamond formation, DeMello boxes out his man. Pionk fires it down the distance as there were heavy collisions at the far side of the boards. At the Jets end, and Dylan DeMello wants to put Rope Hintz on a stranglehold. The linesman had to step in and separate the two of them. DeMello not happy with Rope Hintz as he was hogged down. Hintz's helmet is off. Will be coincidental roughing minors between the two. That action was going on. These two had a... Yep, it is 2 minutes each for roughing. We stay 5-on-4. And DeMello forcibly removed Hintz's helmet as these two were tangling each other up. I'm surprised nobody had the gloves dropped so far in the second round. So DeMello joins Velarde. I guess they'll be having some wars for one another. So now without Hintz, Jason Robertson will replace him. Second penalty killing group out there for the Jets as Morgan Barron loses draw. Kyle Connor improved on his defense this season, trailing his men, moving it behind. Mikko Rantanen centers up, leading the way now. And up for the middle is Johnston. Johnston gets boxed out. Now allows the Jets to clear it down. Off the far boards. Ottinger out to Platus. Just over a minute left of power play time. Harley holds onto it, drops back. Johnston lets this one go up front. Lowry got in the way of that pass. The Jets trying to clear it down, and they will. No shots on this man advantage group after the penalties on Hintz and DeMello. As Iafallo watches onwards, ready up for the drop pass, and there is the drop. The Stars will lead up front on the flying B. Rantanen will go coast to coast, left and right. Rantanen to the right side for Johnston. Johnston makes a Sharp shot, passes it out in front onto the left circle. Here's Harley, manning the point. Over towards the left circle, out in front. Johnson deflected! And Hellebuyck covered that one. With 22 on the man advantage, and we have wars between these two clubs. Lowry and Robertson, in the midst of it. They have to be separated by Devin Berg and Bevan Mills. On the other side, as the Stars were loading up on their man advantage. And Johnston deflected that shot to try to center it for Robertson, who wanted to get a goal on his first game back. Neil Pionk slowed the puck down just enough so as to allow Hellebuyck an easier chance to cover. So the officials are going to start calling penalties on games in which they... Oh, that's a penalty off the faceoff. That's going to kill off the Stars' power play.
Oh, wow.
Tyler Seguin called for a high stick on Neil Pionk as he went down. We'll have 4-on-4 for 19 seconds before Winnipeg goes to the power play.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Oh. Not on that side. As, yes, Pionk got high sticked immediately after the faceoff commenced. So Pionk goes to the bench. No, he's going to stay out there. And there didn't look to be blood, and Tyler Seguin in disbelief. There's that replay. Seguin. Oh my goodness. Can't do that. We have Pionk back out there on the ice. 19 seconds of 4-on-4. Stars lead it 3-2. 14-14 left, third period. Connor and Scheifele out there and setting up on the Jets. Here's Connor. Left circle. Skating this one around. Has a man at the point that's Pionk. Connor. Moving towards the right side. In control now is Ehlers. Ehlers. Deep shot. Bounced off a stick. And right into the netting with 3 seconds left on 4-on-4. So a good stick in the lane. Prevent that from going all the way through. We'll go to break here. Stars lead it 3-2. As the hits continue to ramp up. Back here from Winnipeg in a moment. And as we get an update from the hardwood. So, opening things up at the Thunder. And listen to this, Ian. The Thunder are closing in on a 40-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
This.
Oh, my. And, but real quick, Alec, before we return to action, if everyone can still hear me.
Yep.
I want to put this out there. Now, look. I said I didn't really have a skin in the game. I didn't have a skin in the game and who won the next round in the West. But all I'm going to say is, Winnipeg, you better be sure that you win. Because all the trash talking we've been hearing from Jets fans talking about how we're being too overreactive about how we lost, how Blues fans are, how the Blues lost, and how our fans are, being too dramatic about it. All I'm going to say is, make sure you win, and make sure that you win, that you cannot lose this series. And if you lose it in if you lose it in less than 7, trust me, it doesn't matter if you beat us. We're going to be talking major trash. Because at 8th seed took you to the limit. Surely you can beat your next opponent as the best team in the West. No, as the best team in hockey this season. Right?
Yep, that's the key here. Jets now on the power play off this faceoff. Kyle Connor waits, rips. Ottinger shuts it down. And with Kyle Connor closing at the left circle, and you know about that game, that's the type of game, and I'm talking game 7 against the Blues, that's the type of game that saves not only their season, but potentially their franchise too because of relocation rumors. Scheifele wins the draw, gets it back over to Pionk. Pionk flips it over to Ehlers, who waits at the top of the left circle. Now low is Scheifele, who switches spots with Ehlers as Ehlers gets to the bumper. Scheifele from Connor, back over to Pionk. Pionk deep shot, went up high. Scheifele recollects, wants to get it back over to Pionk as he keeps it. Stars trying to get it out, and they just barely manage to do so. Ehlers holding on to this one, spinning around and gliding. Nikolai Ehlers up the far side for Gabe Belardi. Here is Scheifele. The centering passes go there. Connor is hounded and going back for Ehlers at the point. Pionk holds on to this puck, twists and twirls. Ehlers activates up, finds the open Connor. It bounces off of him. Ehlers able to hold it still. Pionk going down low. Here's Belardi. Cuts to the crease, and it's sticked away by a Dallas defender in front. And the Stars will make their changes, so will the Jets. As both teams will head to their second units, both PK and power play. Colin Miller quarterbacking the second unit. Miller twists and twirls once and twice. Towards the left side, Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov gliding down the near side. Spinning around to the far side now as he takes it towards the point for Niederreiter. There was a stick in the lane that ended that, and the Stars clear it down again. Nemesnikov looks to get back up front. Takes this 1-on-4. Niederreiter there to help him out at the far half boards. Twists this one back for Perfetti. Niederreiter goes into the crease. Niederreiter to the net! And that one's stopped by Ottinger. Up the far side, the Stars get this one out for Hellebuck, and that ends the man advantage. So both penalties have been killed off. Colin Miller twists and twirls around. He has Dylan Sandberg with him. Soon enough, you expect Neil Pionk back onto the ice. Sandberg holds it. Miller skates with it. The Jets 0 for 4 on the man advantage. Stars 1 for 2. That power play ended early because of the Tyler Seguin high sticky penalty. The Stars will move it up for the far side, 1-on-1, waiting against Duchesne. Duchesne has yet to score a goal in this postseason. His pass intercepted, and the Jets will move it up with Tanev backhanding one to Hayden Fleury. Fleury sends it in. Going on the chase now is Bischel, who moves it away. Petrovic tied up. Comes back out onto center ice, picked up by Appleton, and Pionk sends it for Tanev, who gets decked towards the Stars bench. Right behind the play, Petrovic. Move it over to the far half board. Hellebuck out to play this one. Two American-born goaltenders. One for Minnesota, one for Michigan. The Jets move back up. Here's Velarde, setting it up across ice. Batted down by Winnipeg as they look to get it in. Here's a one-timer. Walk down in front, and the Stars will move it up the middle of the ice. Schen's one-timer, 84 miles an hour, and he'll be picking it back up with Rantanen in pursuit. For the far half boards, Rantanen puts on the boom here. This puck is held down by Connor. Stopped at the left point. Connor, all tied up by Lyubushkin. His teammates help him out. No icing here. Thomas Harley for Ilya Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin sends it to the far side. The Jets try to make their third come from behind victory of this postseason. Games 1 and 7 of the Blues series were the first two. Pass intercepted. The Stars walk back with this. Up the far side, quick shot turned away by Hellebuck from Robertson. Nemesnikov. Vlad Nemesnikov trying to get this one up, but is held inside by Lindell. Pass too far for Ceci, and it's played out by Winnipeg. A tie-up. The Stars will get this one back, but they get pickpocketed. Here's Cole Perfetti moving up the left side. Perfetti! Ottinger goes to 5-hole with 10-11 to go in the third. Back and forth we go here, friends. So Robertson hasn't looked really comfortable going back onto the lineup. Perfetti, he aimed for the 5-hole. That shot may have been adjusted off the stick of Cody Ceci, of all people. Formerly an Ottawa Senator. And formerly an Edmonton Oiler, where his longest 10 years have been. Robertson with one shot, 11:35 ice time. And his faceoff won by Dallas. Ceci spent the first half of this season with the San Jose Sharks. This puck bounced towards Hayden Fleury as he is in trouble. The Stars keep it inside, but a slam onto the near corner. It ended as Appleton swung and missed on that. There was a body in the way. Moving back now is Nikolai Ehlers. Fleury. Ehlers wants to set up in front. Fleury skates out with the puck. For the far side, for DeMello. Bounce inside. Ehlers got stick with it. The Stars play this one out. and clear it. Less than 10 minutes to go here in the third period. 3-2, but the only goals have been scored in the second period. Lowry finding Ehlers, an angry rocket, but he didn't get much on that one. Appleton bounces this one back. Up at the far boards, sent back down inside. And Gramlin got ran into by a Greyhound bus. Ottinger plays this one out, but it's turned over. From the right circle, DeMello turned away by Ottinger. They've been blocked in front, though. With the far corner, Ceci gets this out for Petrovic, and Barron ran right into him. Up the far side, the Stars trying to get another one. Kicked out by Hellebuck. Sandberg back with this, controlling the puck. Sandberg does a stretch pass for Ehlers. Flips on his backhand over to the far corner. Sicked away by Bishop with the far half boards. Jets trying to hold it, they will. From the right point, across is Miller. Colin Miller bounces this one up onto the near corner. 8:40 to go in the frame. Iafallo goes down, Bishop tangled him up. Rushing to the play is Barron. Barron also goes down. Bishop, a hard customer to take down. He is 6'7". All the way back out into the Winnipeg zone is Miller. To pick this one up. Chasing is Johnston. With Miller skating away for the action. Bounced up. Here's Kyle O'Connor. Puck is held down by the Stars. In the defensive-minded third period here. Stars will take it up for the far side. Waiting is Marchment. With Labushkin trying to set up in front. Puck comes to him from the near corner. Jets tie him up. And this will come out for Scheifele. Scheifele stick lifted. Stars keep it inside. Trying to set the edge. Sandberg tying him up. And getting away with it is Scheifele. Far side, Pionk sends this one up, intercepted as there was a Star in front. And they move back with numbers. 3-on-2. Here is Sam Steele. Set one up that was redirected towards the far corner. Scheifele with speed. Here's Kyle O'Connor the other way. Sets up at the high slot for Scheifele the trailer. Ottinger shuts it down from the right circle. And that'll take us to the break at 7:38 to go. End the third period. Will the Jets find that tying goal? Find out when we return from Winnipeg. And it's not just a 40-point lead. They're closing on a 50-point lead. Oh my goodness, the Thunder. But this game showed this is how you play defense. Kudos to OKC. And kudos to the entire starting five. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finishes this game. 34 points on an extremely efficient night. 11 of 13. Ho ho. 147-103 in that game. That's a definition of a slaughter, guys. Oh. More advertisements, but nonetheless, tomorrow should be a fun slate.
It should. I'll probably mostly watch Montreal Ottawa in the early window tomorrow because I do want to at least catch one full PWHL semifinal game because it sure doesn't look like I'm going to be able to catch any of the Toronto-Minnesota series as we were mentioning earlier, but I will definitely be there for Oilers Golden Knights.
Oh, that's going to be the headliner of the back half of the NHL slate. Now, looking forward to the PWHL action. May want to catch that up on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, you should do a game or two of the finals when they happen.
So here it is off the face-off. Sandberg, tight shot. Rebound in front. Ottinger. He was hounded in tight. Dylan Sandberg got two shots. Gabe Velarde in the slot and the outer hole firm. The Dallas won the face-off battle in the second period, but the third period face-off dot has been controlled by Winnipeg, and they're making the most of their chances. They just have to find a way to solve Jake Ottinger. Face-offs 31 for Dallas, 27 for Winnipeg. 24-26 is Ottinger. Hellebuck is 20 of 23. Controlled by Cece. Whipped it down low. Pionk will set this one down as this puck cannot be touched. Well, now Pionk thought that was a hand pass, and Connor sends it up, and now it's to be controlled by Connor at the left point. He is tangled up by 2 Stars. Clear it out through center, and the Jets will reset. Neil Pionk up the far side. Point this out. Going into the Star bench. 7:06 remains here in the third period, but the Duchesne line has been all over the puck throughout this third period. Him, Ben, and Sagan. Most of the work here by Winnipeg done by the Connor line. Of course, him, Scheifele, and Velarde. That's been an excellent line ever since they traded for him, Alex Iafallo, and Rasmus Kupari, and a second. Another stoppage. But I should have sympathy for this trade for if I'm the Los Angeles Kings. For without it, then they wouldn't use Pierre-Luc Dubois to get Darcy Kemper in a separate trade. Seems that Nikolai Ehlers is wearing an undershirt for this game. As it's still 3-2 Stars. Shots 26-23 Jets. Offensive zone faceoff taken by the Stars. Here's a deep shot from Harley. Bounced up and out. I have to be careful because some of those pucks can be dangerous. The final score, Oklahoma City 149, Denver 106.
Jesus, 43 points.
Deep shot from the point after that faceoff win by the Stars. All the scoring has come in the second period. We're in the third, and we have yet to see any scoring. Ehlers, Ray wide, drop back. Ehlers, one-timer to Mello. He fed on the shot. Puck is kept alive, but the Stars want to get it out. Held inside by Lowry. The Stars take it up, but this gets poked loose onto the near half boards. Dallas gets it out, and DeMello beats out Rantanen. Opposite side is Hayden Fleury. Fleury leads the way up the middle. Fleury to the right side, intended for Perfetti. Didn't get all of that one. Perfetti got in the way to block that clear. Marshman tries again. Didn't get all the way out either. As it's held at the far half boards. Niederreiter escapes a bit, tied up at the far corner. Nemestikov comes out with this one with some help. And here is Luke Shen. One-timer from deep. Bounced out in front, didn't get towards the net. Colin Miller can hold his own. And on the way back is Jason Robertson in his return. Will he get one? Fired up high. So not now, as it's kept down low by Dallas. The wraparound's fanned on. There was a stick in the lane. Niederreiter will send this one down the near side. And right onto Ottinger, who covers it up. So Scott Arniel decided to change Ehlers and Niederreiter on the lineup. As Ehlers is bumped down to the third line, Niederreiter up to the second line. That lineup worked earlier. And with 5:40 to go here in the third period, we'll find out if the Jets can score the tying goal. The final stats from that Thunder Nuggets game. SGA, 34 points, 11 of 13, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and a game high plus 51.
4 points.
That's a masterclass from him. That's a dominant home victory to even up the series. 17 for J-Dub, Jalen Williams, 17 with 7 assists. And he bounced back from an inefficient night in Game 1, 6 of 11. Everyone on OKC was efficient, with the exceptions of Chet Holmgren and Luguentz Dort. But Chet dominated in other areas. 15 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Dort, 12 points. But he played defense like he usually does. One of the best defensive guards in the league on the perimeter. And don't count out Shea's defense either. That structure helps out a ton under Mark Daigneault. And you have Isaiah Hartenstein with 14 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Isaiah Joe with 14 points. So we're getting back into action soon enough here So 5:40 to go here in the third. Those Stars Jets being a thriller. Today has been a thriller in the NHL. The earlier game was set and written in regulation. We have yet to see if this one requires extra time. As said in soccer, and hockey will call it overtime. It's a sold-out crowd at True North. As Scheifele wins the faceoff, Sandberg finding Pionk. Pionk tees one up, made his way to Oettinger, and that bounce in front of the slot where the Stars clear. Down the ice is settled down by Pionk. Away from danger, which is Marchment. Pionk on his backhand. Brings this one inside. Surrounded by Stars. Dumps it to the far corner. Surrounded by back checkers on the Stars, including Marchment. Velarde pries it free. Back in the play is Connor. Connor, whip around pass, goes by Pionk. And the Stars will pick it up. Pionk has 22-48 of ice time in county. He's still out there. Turn over to Scheifele. Scheifele drops it out for Connor. Connor on his backhand. Tried to find Scheifele, but there was a type in front. Could not be gloved down by Pionk. And Pionk will head to the Jets bench. Up front is Connor. Up the near side, Scheifele trying to walk his way around Thomas Harley. 55 on 55. Scheifele played out to the left point. Fleury chopped it around and gloved it down. Towards the wall, held in by Velarde. From the near corner, Harley tried to stick it away. The Stars get this one out. Rolling puck towards the Jets zone. Fleury away from Sam Steele. Fed it up for the far side. Dallas picks it back up. Rantanen has the first natural hat trick in Stars franchise history in the playoffs. From the near corner, Stars mishandle it along the point. Lyubushkin keeps it inside, but found absolutely nothing. Here's Adam Lowry with numbers right onto him. Fed it aside. Nikolai Ehlers looking for a lane here. Ehlers looks back. At the top of the left circle, Sandberg lets one go. Wide the crease. And one's fired wide, but that one adjusted off the stick from Lowry. Sandberg could not hold the zone. And back outside of it is Pionk. Less than 4 minutes left. Ehlers wants to go to the net front. And that one was a soft try by the Jets, as this was easily stopped by Jake Oettinger. This is going to be icy on the way back, so the Jets can make their changes. The Stars will not. The Jets' door from the locker room to the ice has a Stanley Cup decorations. They know the goal, to play for Lord Stanley's finest hardware, to bring them their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. They've been hounding the Stars throughout this third period. Face off to the right of Oettinger. Nemestikov lost it, and Niederreiter gets held. Staying 5 on 5 as the Stars move it up to the far side. Dallas turns it over. Winnipeg going back up with this. Nemestikov flips it over as Ceci couldn't get it out. Niederreiter for Nemestikov. Tried to bank it in on a wraparound, and Nemestikov going down. Fans want a penalty. Niederreiter tangled up right behind by Duchesne. Niederreiter gets forced up to the wall. And this is kept in. Deep shot blocked off in front. Picked up by Dallas, and they clear. And they'll finally make their changes. Nemestikov will drop behind for Sandberg. Desperation time winding up here for the Jets. They spent at least 14 minutes. They're nearing 15 minutes of offensive zone time. The Stars have barely eclipsed 9 minutes, and now they are nearing 9:30. DeMello gets wrestled down by Rantanen. And this is back out in front towards the slot. And this is stopped by Hellebuck. He waited out Michael Granlund patiently as he stared him down. That could have been the first goal from the Stars by anyone not named Mikko Rantanen. But with a flurry of patience, Hellebuck stayed with it and closed the door.
How much time left on the clock?
Less than 3 minutes to go. 2:43. Hellebuck 21 of 24 on the night as the Stars take this face up. We're watching for Hellebuck as this is a rush here for the far side. Starting pass skipped over Iafallo, but on the hold is Lowry. Adam Lowry tangled up by Rope hits. From the near corner it is Fleury on a cross for a deep shot. Bounces up and is made towards the slot for the right circle. Kept inside by Ehlers. Ehlers wanted to keep this one. This went by him and Fleury mishandled it. 2:12 to go here in the third. watching for Hellebuck to see if he'll get pulled. Fleury backing this one up as Winnipeg is skating back and they're hauling the way out. Hellebuck is likely getting a signal now as Connor will move it down the near side. Oettinger slowing this one down. Picking it up as Dallas as they play for the far half boards, but it's kept in by the Jets. Fired up high and into the match with 150, and this will be the time in which you ideally pull Hellebuck.
Yes, yeah, you have to. I don't know, man. I don't see him getting it done. The right team's winning this one, unfortunately.
The man tonight, Mikko Rantanen, as he deflected one, fired one on one stick, and then played it smartly off the skate of Dylan Sandberg. We'll see if there's a tying goal. Best bet could be Kyle Connor or Mark Scheifele. It's those two, Ehlers, Velarde, Pionk, and Miller on the ice for 6-on-5. Do or die situation again here for the Jets. Holding the point, it is Pionk for Miller. Miller, Pionk. Now back around far corner. One timer towards the net. Mills in front. Scheifele's turned away. Oettinger's down. Trying to keep this one out. Still free. They're whacking at a frenzy. Comes back behind the net for Scheifele. Now Ehlers picks it up. Far corner. Trying to keep this one down. Velarde down. And this is poked out onto the ice. Rolling puck. But this will not be towards the empty net. It's very far from it. Icing at the near corner. And Gabe Velarde was in the midst of an ugly scuffle, Owen.
Wow, and you thought two or three, maybe even chances for the Jets to get a tying goal there. Got around Oettinger and couldn't finish it.
And Velarde, that puck was just kept out by Esa Lindell, who had a similar looking play in Game 3 against Colorado to keep overtime going when the Avs were in the dying seconds of the power play. He blocked Arturi Lehkonen in the dying seconds of the man advantage. Timeout Jets, and the wideout can't believe it that they were turned away from in tight in the crease. So Oettinger's getting a breather. 78 seconds remain here in regulation as the whiteboard is out there for Dean Chainoff. Oettinger, 30 of 32 tonight. He's been terrific. And one can say about him, potentially getting the nod over Hellebuck in the Four Nations face-up. Not the Four Nations face-up, the Olympics, I meant. I know what I meant because best on best international tournament. Winnipeg was in this position before. Game 1 against St. Louis. Game 7 against St. Louis. But Game 7 more so than Game 1. So Kyle Connor did net the winning goal with 1:36 to go in Game 1 in regulation. Face-offs 37-29. Dallas. Third period scoring chance for 5-1 Jets. 6-on-5 here, unless there's a penalty on either team. Scheifele to take the draw, and he'll win it cleanly. All the way back to the right circle. Whoosh! And it's swept away by Oettinger. Scheifele keeps it alive. Scheifele, want to get out in front. Gets knocked down. Few fans want a penalty, but it's held inside. Everyone standing up here at the peg. From the near half boards, the Stars take it away. Wyatt Johnston tangled up. He can't get a clean look at the empty net. Pionk will restart in his own zone. 55 seconds to go. Pionk will skate it smoothly. And then for the near side, it is Connor, who gets knocked away. The Stars trying to clear it down. Connor resettles it. For the far side, Pionk fires it deep. Oettinger can't handle this one out. Ceci trying to help him. Puck comes loose in the near corner. Ehlers tangled up and tight. This puck's still free. The Jets pry it out. And it's Pionk. Deep shot deflected for Scheifele. Oettinger covers it up. Scheifele just got enough for that to deflect it right on goal. Very similar to the game-winning goal in Game 7. Or rather, the first Jets goal in Game 7 as Scheifele is right in front, taking the role that Perfetti took as the stick taps from the Stars bench. 31.5 seconds to go, unless the Jets score the tying marker. 3-2 Dallas leads, and what has been a war of attrition. Adam Lowry against Tyler Seguin for this faceoff. Seguin gets set. False start. And this is a tie-up. Won by Lowry with some help. Pionk wrists one towards the goal. And that one took a block off Velarde. Friendly fire. Stars trying to get it out. Pionk ties up Rantanen. And Pionk goes down. They're just trying to keep it in, and they will. Ehlers, one-timer Scheifele, closed off and tight. 13 seconds to go. Stars trying to get it out. They will. It's a foot race for the puck towards the near corner. Icing.
Oh my God! They could have put it away right there.
What an effort by Adam Lowry to win the foot race in its photo finish as Scheifele gets turned away and tight. Oh my goodness. Trying to find that sharp angle shot, didn't go. And Lowry does a good job hustling out his opponent on this photo finish. 8.7 to play. And the Jets need another Manitoba Miracle. Scheifele to take the draw. On the right side, it's a tangle up. Comes out to the far corner. Stars trying to get it out. And they will. This game will not be over. Just 1 second left. Another icing. Desperate measures here for the Jets.
Win the face-off and just fire the puck and hope it lands, I guess.
Or probably try to get a immediate shot off the face-off. You probably fire it quickly. 1.6 left on the clock. All the Jets, save for Neil Pionk, near the slot, and all the Stars at the slot. Connor also ready up to get a quick shot. Scheifele's won 17-27. A tie-up will do wonders for Dallas. Both Star in the movement at the slot, so a whistle. Remember, it's an empty net for the Jets. Scheifele to take it. More movement as it is won, a tie-up, and this game is over. The Dallas Stars, Mikko Rantanen, take a bow, and they finally break their Game 1 losing streak.
Damn.
Jake Oettinger stood on his head throughout that third period as he shut down chance after chance, and Rantanen with all 3 goals for Dallas gained the Stars their first natural hat trick in playoff history. All the goals scored in the second period, and that's all she wrote from the peg. So, with that said, any takeaways from this game?
No lack of chances for the Jets. In those last 5 minutes, they easily could have probably scored 4 or 5 goals. Those last 3 minutes, they probably could have easily scored 4 or 5 goals. But Oettinger in particular absolutely locked down play tonight. There was nothing they could have done. Honestly, the better team won, and that's all there is to this one.
I'm inclined to say that too. The better team won, and he took advantage of their chances, even with the Jets peppering Oettinger with shots in the third period. Even with the Stars getting shut down in the third period. This was a good game nonetheless.
It was a great game.
Yes, and that's all she wrote from Winnipeg. Anything more you want to put to wrap this one up?
Well, tell us all. Are you coming back tomorrow to do a game? I think you're doing Caps in Carolina, right?
No, Vegas, Edmonton. John will have Caps, Canes.
Oh, well, we'll both be back at it together then tomorrow night, I suppose.
Oh, that's going to be the case. So take you down to the Sin City tomorrow night. Alongside Owen Parkin, I'm Alec Nava, saying so long from Winnipeg. Good night.